TikTok
in no
time
snitch.
to rock. Good
Oh, sorry.
evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. AP, you've had some music playing in the background, man. You've had some music playing in the background. It's the Garkid song. I'm not going to get a copyright strike from your Garkid song, am I?
No, absolutely not, man. Not from my Gargad song. Gargad ain't no snitch.
Garkid tree doesn't.
Everybody's talking, but not my tree. The desert's got ears, but some branches keep quiet.
Some branches keep quiet.
God ain't no snitch. He stands with his crew, shade in the heat when they're coming for you. Every rock's whispering, every bush gon' squeal, but proud God's in the shade, keeping secrets sealed.
See? It's good stuff, man.
It's pretty dope and based.
Beast. All right, what's up, man? How you doing?
So you're saying I don't even have to worry? I don't even have to worry about a copyright strike.
Nope,
Garkid tree,
because
don't snitch.
Gargad tree ain't no snitch.
Garkid tree ain't no snitch. Garkid tree ain't no snitch. Oh, that's the other song.
Powerful. What's up,
Hey,
man?
how you doing, man?
Oh, nothing, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
Hey,
What's up? What's
hey,
up?
what's been going on?
Nothing. Not much. How you doing?
Hey, look at this. We got a troll over here. Yeah, bash babies against rocks.
So what?
Talking about the psalm where a guy was saying after that's what the Babylonians did. He blesses the one who does that to the who's going to do that to the Babylonians, who, by the way, isn't going to be Jews. Isn't going to be Israel. It's going to be Persians. The Persians are going to go and do what the Babylonians did to other groups. And he screams this out in rage. And then, of course, the Dawa fans, they act like this is a command to us to do this sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Powerful. It's very powerful.
Yeah, it's a very honest community. They always speak the truth. They always speak the truth. Of course, they lie always, constantly, but you know.
Wait, whose mic is low? Whose mic is low? Somebody's mic is low, they say. Somebody's mic is pretty low.
Check, yo.
Check, yo. Check, yo.
Oh, mine's definitely low. Hell yeah, hang on.
Hey,
Hey, hang on. Good catch, someone. Good catch.
Thank you, someone.
And all right, that should be good. Check, one. Check, yo.
Good.
All right, that should be better. That sounded better?
Yeah, boy. I think it does.
What do we got here? Harper again on just looking to see if Harper says anything interesting. But Harper, you're gonna have to actually pay attention to what's being said, because if you're just here to troll, trolls don't last long. If you're just here to distract, la ilaha illallah, why'd you leave out the rest of it? Why'd you leave out the rest of it? Yeah, can't be Muslim without mindlessly submitting to everything Muhammad said. And we all know about Muhammad. Y'all some clowns at Apologetic Roadshow. Yeah, we're the clowns, not your fake prophet, right?
I only have one message for you, Larper.
We were just gonna watch an interview, but apparently Harper, they love it when we insult Muhammad and say all kinds of things about him. Look at this. Harper says, AP, a fake ex-Muslim. It's obvious.
So what? What are you going to do about it?
Yes, it's obvious. No one leaves Islam. That's why Abu Bakr didn't have to fight the apostate wars against all the apostates who left Islam.
Yeah, I'm a fake ex-Muslim. What are you going to do about it, Harper? What are you going to do about it, huh?
Well, he's got you here. He says, bro didn't even know the shortest surah. Haven't I heard you recite that like a trillion times? You just refuse to do it on command when they tell you to.
No, I don't know. I don't know it. I just don't know it, okay?
Hey, Harper.
What are you going to do about it?
Hey, Harper. Going to give you a golden opportunity. Not golden in the Muhammad Hijab golden shower sense, but I'm going to give you a golden opportunity here. Give us your best argument for why Muhammad is a true prophet. Give us your best argument. You understand? I mean, you're coming here. It's a Christian apologetics channel. About to do an interview, and you're trying to tell us about Islam. I'm giving you the opportunity right now. Give us your best argument for Islam, and I will share it right here. Your best argument. So think carefully. Think carefully. You should be ready for your best argument why anyone should believe in Muhammad.
I don't think we have to wait for that. I already have one. What about the birthmark on his back?
No, it's a mole. It's a mole. Look, people.
The seal of prophethood.
It's even here. It's his mole. His holy moly. He's got the holy moly. This make him a prophet. By the way, guys, we're not joking. That's like a big argument in the Muslim sources. Muhammad had some big mole on his back, and he thought that Jews and Christians were going to see this mole and confirm that he's a prophet. And of course, we didn't.
Well, the thing is, there are these very poor reasons, these very poor pieces of evidence that people give. There are also some good arguments, such as, for example, that Muhammad had the sexual strength of 30 men and had sex with all of his wives in one night. For example, I would say that this is one of the stronger arguments that Muhammad was a true prophet.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you find in the Muslim sources. Has Harper responded with an argument yet? Isn't it, by the way, guys, isn't it interesting? They'll love to run their mouths and toss around insults and attack people. But the moment you say, hey, why don't you give anything remotely resembling an argument for Muhammad? They get awfully quiet. But we actually got a response here, man. We actually got a response here. All the prophecies that have happened, AP, like a mountain, a giant mountain of gold being found beneath the Euphrates, and money being so plentiful that no one will want gold or anything else because money is so plentiful. AP, what about Muhammad's prophecy? Didn't he say something about some kid who was around him at the time? Didn't he make some prophecy based on?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, so Muhammad also said that. So there was a kid that was together with these people who said, when is the hour going to come? And Muhammad said, the hour, wallahi, the hour shall not come unless this little boy becomes old, or before this little child becomes old, then the hour will come. That's what he said back then. Pretty sure that boy is no longer alive and no longer with us. It's been 1,400 years. So I would say that I would assume that boy is dead by now, and
he's living in a cave. Harper says he's living in a cave hiding.
That nothing happened. And then there's also the other thing, of course. Muhammad also said that that Gog and Magog are Yajuj and Majuj are hiding behind a wall, and they're digging. And any day now, they might be digging through the wall and then invading, and all that. And then the final war and everything will break out, and then the Dajjal will come.
Isn't it like billions of people that are somehow trapped behind this wall?
Yeah.
Billions of people trapped behind this wall, just waiting for the wall to break so they can break out. So tell us, Harper, where is this? Muhammad said it's going to happen. Where are these billions of people? Yasser Qadi thinks they're zombies. So where is it, Harper? And,
maybe they're invisible zombies.
Oh, and we can't leave out Muhammad's awesome prophecy about the end times. When one of the signs of the end times, Harper, one of the signs of the end times is that the women who march around Dul Khalasa are going to march around it with their buttocks exposed and shaking. Problem is there a problem there, EP?
Muhammad had the Dul Khalasa destroyed shortly after.
The place is destroyed. It's one of the signs of the end times. Muhammad said that women are going to be marching around this pagan temple with their butts shaking, but Muslims destroyed it. Now it's not there. So how's that going to happen? Are they going to bring it back?
How do you explain twerking then? Maybe this is what Muhammad actually was prophesying.
He said their buttocks would be shaking. How could Muhammad have known what twerking was before twerking was invented? That's his awesome prophecy. Hey, yeah, Harper, you're going to have to be a little more specific, bud. You're just saying all the prophecies that have happened, all the prophecies we see are completely ridiculous. I have to say, there are only a couple of prophecies that Muhammad made that you could seriously, with a straight face, argue were fulfilled. For instance, when Muhammad said that if Muhammad were a false prophet and if he fabricated revelations, he would sever his aorta. And then later on, Muhammad died saying, my aorta, I feel it, it's being severed. Oh my goodness, it's exactly as Allah said would happen. So Muhammad predicted how he would die if he's a false prophet. And then he died in exactly that way. So I guess you could say that fulfilled him, but he said that would be the fulfillment of him as a false prophet. But the prophecy did come true. So you've got that. What else? There's the prophecy in...
Wait, so you're saying he was a true prophet then?
Uh-huh. Yeah. And there's the prophecy in Jami at-Tirmidhi, 2653, where Muhammad confirms that Jews and Christians still have the Torah and the Gospel in the same way Muslims have the Quran, meaning in its preserved sense. But he says that this is when knowledge is going to depart from his community. And his fans, his followers, they freak out. What knowledge can depart from us? We have the Quran. He says, yeah, knowledge is going to depart from the community. And we look around at the Ummah. And definitely looks like knowledge has indeed departed. Scientific knowledge, all gone. Philosophical knowledge, any knowledge you guys gain, you just lose it because Islam suffocates it. Wow. And there was, of course, Muhammad's prophecy about tons of people leaving Islam. He said people will leave Islam. People will leave Islam. Young people will leave Islam like an arrow coming out of the game. Like you shoot an arrow through something and it flies out the other side. That's how fast people are going to be leaving Islam. So you could argue that's happening right now. So if you want to argue a prophecy, it's going to be that. Apart from that, you've got his prophecy that Islam would crawl back into the hole it came from like a snake.
That's pretty rude.
I think that's pretty accurate. That's going to happen. It's just funny because Muhammad said so many things that are in so many. Islam's going to keep growing until it takes over the world. No, Islam's going to crawl back into the hole it came out of like a snake. You've got Muslim sources saying he said every possible state of affairs. So there's always, if Islam takes over the world, they say, you see, he said it would take over the world. If Islam disappears, they'll say, you see, he said it would go back into the hole like a snake, not into the hole like the men of Al-Zut, but like a snake. This is when they start making excuses for why they don't know anything. Harper says, keep in mind, I'm a new Muslim. If you want to talk about those with more knowledge, let me know. Oh, we'd love to talk with those with more knowledge, Harper.
Who's those?
Tell your favorite Dawah hero. We would love to have a conversation about whether Muhammad's a true prophet. But Harper, so you said you're a new Muslim. That means you converted. So what convinced you to convert to Islam? You just gave us your best evidence, and it shows that what you listened to was some lying Dawah clown who told you about these amazing fulfilled prophecies, and you did not. There is no scenario. Say with a straight face that you actually read Muhammad's prophecies for yourself, because you would giggle yourself silly if you read Muhammad's prophecies and took them seriously. You'd giggle yourself silly. What are you sitting here? So I'm a new Muslim. I don't know. That's fine, but we asked you what your best reason to believe in Islam was, and you said prophecies. So I think we can conclude that that was your reason for converting, your main reason, if that's the main evidence you see, and it's just an epic disaster. So you're yet another. Harper, keep in mind, I've only seen a couple sentences from you, but who are you? You're someone who listened to a Dawah, like the biggest liar you've ever seen in your entire, you've never met a liar in your entire life who is as big a liar as whatever Dawah clown or whatever Dawah video you saw. They're the biggest liars I've ever seen, and you just went with it. What's that mean? It means you shouldn't be over here talking, running your mouth. And the moment we challenge you on anything, I don't know anything, well, quit running your mouth then. Well, you should be reading, or you should be listening to this show, because Tommy Robinson, ladies and gentlemen, was on Triggernometry. Heard of this guy, Pete?
Tommy Robinson? Yes, he did. Yes, I did.
He was on Triggernometry. And I messaged you. We're only going to go through a part of it, ladies and gentlemen. because a lot of it he's going through his back. Keep in mind, it's interesting material, especially if you didn't see the PBD podcast. But PBD, to his credit, like asked Tommy a bunch of questions about how he came to the conclusions that he came to and so on, and actually let him share his life story. That was very interesting stuff. But he covered the trigonometry guys also asked him about a lot of that. So a lot of it is he's telling the same basically his life story over again. So if you didn't see the PBD interview back when it came out, definitely watch this one. You can always watch them both. It's a interesting story. But there's an interesting section where Tommy tells these guys.
You know what's funny? So I was in London sitting with Stefan from Visegrad at some cigar bar. The first time that I actually smoked a cigar in my entire life.
You went to a cigar bar?
Yeah. And we were sitting there. And then as we were sitting there and talking to each other, he started talking on the phone to Tommy Robinson. And I hear him talking, and Tommy was like, oh, right. So eventually... So Stefan is like, yeah, I'm sitting here with Apostate Prophet. Do you know him? And he's like, oh yeah, I know him. And then so he gives the phone over to me and says, hey, say hi. And then I say, hey, hi, what's up? He's like, how you doing, Matt? Oh, good. How are you? I was like, oh yeah, good. I was telling you about the podcast. I'm like, what? I was just telling you about a podcast. Like, oh yeah, okay. And I handed the phone back over to Stefan. Then after the conversation, I'm like, Stefan, Tommy just told me something about a podcast, but I have no idea what he said, and I didn't want to ask a third time.
So that could have been, hey, I saw you. That could have been, I saw you on a podcast. That could have been, hey, will you be on a podcast with me? It could have been, hey, can I be on your podcast? It could be, hey, I was just on a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I have to text him.
You got to message him, man.
Amen.
Gotta message him. All right. Take a couple super chats here. And then we're gonna watch the section of this interview, ladies and gentlemen. There's a section where Tommy breaks down some of the concerning features of the life of Muhammad that need to be known, and it was just awesome because it was on Triggernometry. It's a new crowd. It's got like I think it had like 1.3 million views after a couple days, and so these are good times for exposing Islam. Oh, little side note. I was a couple minutes late because I was recording a video about Muhammad Hijab's, the judge's ruling and so on. Kind of went back and forth on whether to make a video about that because, Hijab's just getting blasted and there's this big pile on, not in the Al Zut sense, but, everyone just piling on Muhammad Hijab. And, he's getting crushed. So I wasn't sure I should make it, but I'm also realizing this guy's going down so fast in flames that this might be our last chance to really talk about Muhammad Hijab much. Don't know. I think he's got enough fans to where he'll keep it going because they're just going to continue believing any idiotic thing he says. But I'm not positive. I'm not positive that he'll be able to keep going. I mean, there's a picture earlier today. There's a picture earlier today of him sitting on a beach with a bottle of brandy.
I was going to ask about that.
What?
I didn't say anything about it. I'm not sure what you said about it, but I saw a clip of him walking around with that guy and, talking on the street, filming himself. And then later he is on a photo with the very same guy reclining on the beach with some alcohol next to him. And I'm wondering what in the world is going on.
Wait, that's from a video clip?
First, there is a video clip of him walking around with that guy that he's leaning, lying down next to, and then later there is a photo of him lying down on that beach, with the same guy. So,
yeah, that's interesting. I have to say, because I don't even trust pictures that much anymore, right? Because people can Photoshop stuff left and right with no problem. So it's hard to trust. It's hard to trust things in the age of Photoshop and AI and so on. But it's hijab. That's literally how stupid he is and how little he cares. And he's just been trained to think that he can get away with anything. So it's exactly the sort of thing he would do. Hey, check this out. Why are you guys always yapping about Islam? Hey, fun fact. Islam was yapping about us long before we said a word about Islam. Long before I was even born, Harper. The Quran called Jews and Christians the worst of creatures. That's talking about us. That's talking about us. So who started it? Us? We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Hey, your God started this by running his mouth. Long before we were ever born, your fake God said in Surah 9, verse 29, fight those who do not believe in Allah, and specifically referred to violently subjugating Jews and Christians. Hey, we're Christians. The Quran talks about violently subjugating us before we ever heard of it, before we were ever born. Do we get to respond? Let me guess. No. You get to call for our violent subjugation and call us the worst of creatures. We just have to shut up. You'd love that life, wouldn't you? You'd love that kind of world. That's the kind of world you want, where you get to sit here and run your mouth, and we all have to just keep our mouths shut. Long before we said a word about Islam, the Quran ordered you not to take Jews and Christians for friends. Long before we were ever born, Muhammad said, I've been commanded to fight people until they say there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Long, long, long before we existed, your God and your fake prophet were running their mouths about us. So what you're really complaining about is that we are responding. We're responding to that idiot fake prophet you worship.
Boom.
By the way, Harper, do you seriously want to keep this going? Because we can just make fun of your fake prophet this entire time and actually, postpone the Tommy clip to later.
Base it.
What's he saying?
I think it's a very, very interesting. Well, for me, so if the question is why are you guys always yapping about Islam, for me the answer would be because I want to. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, you're not our boss. You're not our boss. Keep in mind, Harper, we're both under death sentences because of your idiot fake prophet and his abandonment issues. Because he lost all the close relationships he had when he was young. This affected him psychologically when he's older, and he couldn't stand the thought of anyone criticizing him or leaving his religion. And so, death sentence for both of us.
Recommended watch. Sigmund Freud interviewing Muhammad, interviewing Prophet Muhammad. That was actually very, very, very telling. So, yeah.
Harper here says, you say you hate Allah, but Arab Christians say Ya Allah.
Who said
when Arab Christians are saying Allah, that means one thing. When Muslims are saying it, they're talking about the fake God who revealed the Quran and sent Muhammad, the child molesting, murdering rapist, as a prophet. So that's who we're talking about when we talk about Allah in the Islamic context. Allah was a pagan deity in Arabia. He's part of the pagan pantheon of gods and goddesses. And Muhammad came along and said, that's the God of the Jews and Christians. And dumb people fell for that. And here you are trying to use that. So you want us to keep going, Harper? Go ahead and say something. Still waiting for your powerful dawah. Everyone loves the dawah.
Don't you love some dawah?
We'll hear back from Harper here in a second. No, we'll hear from someone who's actually cool. Ida says, hello, boys. How's it been?
What's up, Ida? How you doing?
How's it been, AP?
Good.
Catch any blowback from your horrible show yesterday? Powerful.
Which show?
The one where you went full Sam Shamoon for 5 minutes.
I stand by everything that I said, except when I called her the word. I think that was a little bit too much. I shouldn't call people the word. Yeah, so I did talk a little bit. I did talk very harshly about the nun yesterday, and to be honest, I still think that she's a very, very horrible person, and she has a dishonest, evil, bad,
pure evil.
agenda.
That's true.
And she excuses Islamic terrorists and all that, and denies
she
their
does.
evil and all that.
Says she would have voted for Hamas.
That said, I did act a little bit in a lot of anger, in a lot of hate toward her, And I've even had I've had some people give me some really good advice on that kind of stuff, and thought to myself, yeah, I shouldn't have reacted that way. I could have said all the things that I said, all the very, very strong disapproval of her stuff. I could have said all of that without depicting her as a devil, without calling her the word and all that. Including, by the way, Kay from Speaker's Corner. Like, she sent me a voicemail and a voice message and said, Jesus loves all us and also her and this and this and that. And I thought, she actually said something good and useful for the first time in her entire life. So, so some people gave me good advice on that kind of stuff. So yeah, different approach.
Cam says, love the nun in Adam Sandler movies, inshallah. Not familiar with that nun. I've seen a couple Adam Sandler movies. Harper's back and says, look, Harper's going to be the victim. What do? They come and attack and insult, attack, insult, attack, insult, attack, insult. Then you respond, and then they claim victim. My parents called me a disgrace and other things for me being Muslim. Do you support this? Well, if your parents raised you to actually think and not to be duped by lying morons, and then the first lying moron who comes along and says, hey, did you know that Muhammad made so many prophecies? He said that people would compete for building buildings, and now people are building buildings. Oh my goodness, this is the proof. And did you know that he prophesied that the Romans would win a battle? Oh my goodness, how could he have this amazing knowledge? And you went, duh. I could see someone calling you a disgrace.
Building buildings? It's messed up, man.
I don't know if I would resort to calling names and stuff like that, but it would be some. If my kids actually fell for any random dawa clown and believed whatever he said, that would be seriously disappointing. So, but seriously, Harper, why would you complain about them calling you a disgrace when the Quran calls them the worst of creatures? Why?
That's a good question.
AP's mustache reminds me of Mother Arabia's. I think she got you beat, man. What's a Palestine, and why are people giving it away for free? Where can I purchase a Palestine? You can't. It only comes free.
Don't take it. It's very bad. It's very poor quality. I wouldn't even try it. It's a scam.
Yeah. I'm the only troll that can be here. It's Elder Dawa Troll. Look, it's Elder Dawa Troll. He's dressed like a Mormon, but he's. I missed the live stream about the Tucker BS. Can you please give me a short version of what kind of lies were they saying? Thanks and God bless y'all. Yeah, we didn't see Mosh.
Oh, Mosh, what's up?
The short version.
Short version of the Tucker BS was just that Mr. Tucker Carlson invited on a nun, a so-called nun who who has none of the features that a nun should be having, and she sat down and went on a controversial podcast to talk about trash about Israel and talk about the Greater Israel Project, and talked trash about how Hamas are actually not jihadists and not religious extremists, and that they're actually just people who want to protect their country and all that. So just spewed a bunch of very, very, very evil, filthy garbage there. So that's basically what it was all about.
Hey, check this out. Crazy you think I couldn't have read Quran and been convinced. Sorry, Harper, I've read the Quran. That would be convincing to absolutely no one. The only thing about the Quran. So, first of all, Harper, think about this, because you're probably gonna say that this is correct, but it's not, right? You heard people tell you about the Quran, and they lied to you, and they said, oh, it's been perfectly preserved, it's a miracle. Oh, it's filled with scientific information. Oh, it's this, it's that. That's what convinced you. Lies convinced you. Reading the Quran, the Quran is the worst book ever. I would literally rather read a phone book than read the Quran. But what impressed you about the Quran? Was it when the Quran says that Alexander the Great traveled so far west, he found the place where the sun sets, and he found it setting in a muddy pool, and there were people living there? There are people who live in the spot where the sun sets. Was it Allah saying that there are 7 earths? They're all flat. They're stacked up like pancakes. Was that what impressed you? Was it when Allah said that stars are missiles that he uses to shoot demons who try to sneak into paradise? And Listen to his plans? Is that what convinced you? Is it when he said that semen is formed between the backbone and the ribs? Is that what impressed you about the Quran? What impressed you about the Quran? Oh, wait, here it goes. Because it has been preserved. Harper, AP, you said from reading the Quran. Harper, do you not realize? Like you've apparently been a Muslim for 5 seconds and you're already telling the dawah lies. What did you just say? Oh, it's because of reading the Quran that I was so impressed. Okay, what impressed you about the Quran? We want to know. And you said because it's been preserved. How are you getting the Quran's been preserved from the Quran?
You read it, you're like, wow.
Well, it's been preserved.
Wow. It's been preserved.
Yeah.
This convinces me now I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so again, Harper, you're just proving my point. I already said it. You didn't read anything in the Quran that convinced you that Islam is true. If you read the Quran, it's an epic disaster. It's a disorganized, incoherent mess of hatred against Jews, Christians, and polytheists, and it's just a complete disaster. It's a terrible, terrible, awful book. So if anyone says he's convinced, that's you listen to lies. And then we ask you, what was it? And you go, because it's been preserved. Let me guess what they didn't tell you. Because here's what you read in your actual sources. Muhammad delivered revelations to his followers, then they would forget a bunch of them. And if they forgot them, they would say, oh, those have been abrogated. He eventually was revealing the Quran in all sorts of different ways just because his memory was going. And then he said that Allah revealed it in all these different ways. They tried to preserve it from memory early on. That didn't work. They ended up losing massive parts of the Quran. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm just going to read you a couple passages, Harper. I'm going to tell, and Harper, I'm going to give you some quotes. I'm going to give you a few quotes from your Muslim sources, and try to ask yourself why the people you listened to didn't tell you any of this. Isn't it weird? You would think that they would tell you some of this. All right, Ibn Abi Dawud's Kitab al-Masahif. Many of the passages of the Quran that were sent down were known by those who died on the day of Yamama. But they were not known by those who survived them, nor were they written down, nor had Abu Bakr, Umar, or Uthman by that time collected the Quran, nor were they found with even one person after them. This is a battle that Muslims fought after Muhammad's death, and they fought this battle. What's he say? Many of the passages of the Quran that were sent down were known by those who died in that battle, but they were not known by those who survived them, nor were they written down, nor had they been collected. They weren't around anymore. So tell us, Harper. You said the Quran's been preserved. Here, I just read a passage about how a bunch of the Quran, it said many passages of the Quran that were sent down were lost by people who died in battle. So how do you reconcile that with your claim that the Quran's been preserved? And why didn't the people who lied to you bother to tell you that? Nothing?
Imagine, your mama was so bad, so messed up, it caused such uproar among the early Muslim community. Your mama was so big that it has such an impact on the history of the Quran. Your mama is so destructive and so violent, it almost killed your entire religion.
That's some serious stuff. Hey, Harper. So what happens is a bunch of people start dying. That's the reason that the Quran was compiled as a book. They weren't thinking of compiling the Quran into an actual physical book. The reason they eventually compiled it into a physical book was to keep more of it from being lost. But then people started to make their own copies, and you ended up with so many differences in the Qurans that Uthman, the third of the rightly guided caliphs, had to burn all of the Qurans to cover up all the differences. Hey, here's a passage from Sahih Muslim 2286. This is Abu Musa, companion of Muhammad, when he's talking to the next generation of Muslims. Listen to what he says. Abu Musa al-Ashari sent for the reciters of Basra. So he's in Basra and says, send me the Quran reciters. They came to him and they were 300 in number, 300 people reciting the Quran. They recited the Quran and he said, you are the best among the inhabitants of Basra, for you are the reciters among them. So continue to recite it. But bear in mind that your reciting for a long time may not harden your hearts as were hardened the hearts of those before you. We used to recite a surah which resembled in length and severity to Surah Barat, that's Surah 9. I have, however, forgotten it, with the exception of this, which I remember out of it. If there were 2 valleys full of riches for the son of Adam, he would long for a 3rd valley, and nothing would fill the stomach of the son of Adam but dust. Where's that verse in the Quran? He says it's in a chapter that the Muslim community forgot. Hey, what is this? Mike Jones trying to join?
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
What are you doing, man?
Sitting in a hotel room, bored. I'm waiting to go to New York tomorrow to hang out with you.
So we got Harper here telling us that the reason she apparently, I see some people saying Harper's a girl, but saying that the preservation of the Quran.
That's funny.
Isn't it funny?
That's
so anyway,
hilarious.
yeah, I just quoted Sahih Muslim, a Sahih narration with Abu Musa saying that the Muslims forgot 2 entire chapters of the Quran because they hardened their hearts and they were too lazy to recite them. Hey,
That's about right.
hey Harper, Abu Ubaid's Kitab Fada'il al-Quran. Aisha said, Surah 33 used to be recited in the time of the Prophet with 200 verses, but when Uthman wrote out the codices, he was unable to procure more of it than there is in it today, i.e. 73 verses. Ubay ibn Ka'b, the best of the early reciters of the Quran, says that over 200 verses were lost from that chapter alone. 200 verses. That's what you call amazing, miraculous preservation? Hey, Check this one out. Sunan Ibn Majah, 1944. You can look this up, Harper. Look this up. It was narrated that Aisha said, the verse of stoning and of breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed. Ask us about that if you want to know what that means. Breastfeeding adults, that was in the Quran. Fortunately for you, Muhammad's wives conspired to get rid of that part of the Quran. But here's the story they came up with when everyone's like, hey, what about the verses of breastfeeding adults? Where are those powerful verses so we can make women breastfeed us even when we're adults? Aisha said, the verse of stoning and of breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed, and the paper was with me under my pillow. When the messenger of Allah died, we were preoccupied with his death, and a tame sheep came in and ate it.
How convenient.
It's the 7th century version of the dog ate my homework. Hey, what happened to those verses, Aisha? Oh, yeah, well, we were all busy after Muhammad died. Yeah, sheep came in and ate those verses, and I had the only copy. So sad, so sad, so sad. You believe this?
The sheep abrogated it. IP, what's up, man? How you doing?
See the Quran variants. Just go to like erquran.org. It literally, it's a website that just documents all the Quran variants. You click on the chapter, you click on anything that's grayed out, it will show you the variants and on every single ayah. And there are a ton of variants. Which is the Quran that's on the eternal tablets that's been jammed? I don't know.
Yeah, so Harper, Uthman tried to cover up all the variants by burning all the different versions of the Quran. Even that didn't work. Eventually, they had different versions of the Quran, so they just said, oh yeah, Allah revealed all these different Qurans in these different ways, even though they contradict each other and so on. And you have tens of thousands of Quran variants in the manuscript tradition and then different Qurans in different parts of the world today. But Dawah guys know that people don't know any of this, and so they lie to them and say, it's a miracle how it was preserved, because they know that even though it's a lie, they know that there are tons and tons of ignorant people who will fall for the lies, and you are Exhibit A. And so going to look now, at some point you have to just be attacking Christianity or something, right? Because you can't, there's no scenario where you can actually defend Islam or defend your reasons for converting. Let's find Harper. Come on, Harper, where you at? Yo, Harper, where you at? Oh, here we go. I said you gotta attack Christianity. Then one of the biggest reasons from me leaving Christianity is because of the Trinity. Harper,
What?
I hate to break this down to you, but you've displayed nothing but complete ignorance and gullibility. Why would we care what you find convincing or not? Like, why? And wait a minute. So you left Christianity. You left Christianity because of the Trinity. And let me guess what the Dawa guys told you. Oh, but in Islam, it's just pure monotheism. And they don't tell you that Allah is this basically mutant gremlin with 2 arms sticking out of one side. And he's got 1 leg with 2 feet sticking out the bottom. So he looks like a mermaid. And then he's got these eyes. They didn't tell you any of that, did they? And then how are Muslims going to recognize him on the last day? He's going to pull up his dress and show the shin, and Muslims supposedly know what his shin looks like. So tell me, Harper, what does Allah's shin look like? That's how you're going to recognize Allah at the judgment.
Yeah, what is it? It's Surah, or no, it's Sunan An-Nasai, 5379, I believe. That is that the right one that says that Allah has 2 right hands?
There's a bunch of those passages. So he has hands even in the Quran. That's the reason that Adam is so special. He was created with Allah's hands. And so that's something you can't, I mean, you could, but it doesn't make, Muslims have argued you can't interpret that metaphorically, because what's it a metaphor for? If you said God creates with his hands or something, you say, okay, that's a metaphor for his power or something like that. But Allah creates everything with his power. So he's saying, Adam is special because I created him with my own hands. Okay, so that would mean that it can't just mean power, because Allah creates everything with his power. He's saying Adam is different. Adam's in a different category because I created him with my hands. What's that mean? Means he's actually got hands. Isn't this interesting? All right, so it was fun. It was fun playing, Harper. We encourage you to not be so completely, utterly, totally gullible. You're what manipulators and con artists call a soft target. You're someone who's just going to just believe any idiotic thing, any idiotic scheme that people put to you. You'll go with it. You want to make yourself a hard target. You don't fall for stupid stuff. Hey, you guys notice we got the Dawa script the entire time? Just nothing but straight Dawa script.
That's all we ever get.
All right. I'll be working on proving that Joseph Smith is in the Quran and fake hadiths using the perfect Dawa logic. Oh, that'll be good. Find Joseph. That is actually good. Then Muslims would actually know what it's like when they try to find Muhammad in the Bible. When you find Joseph Smith in the Quran.
Do either of you know, do Ahmadis try to find Mirza Ghulam Ahmed in the Quran? Because I guess you could maybe use like Surah 61:6, where it says that Jesus is talking about the coming of Ahmed, and Muslims say that that's obviously Muhammad. But could you like use that? Like, no, it's actually Mirza Ghulam Ahmed.
Not that, but I'm trying to, because I haven't really dealt with their case for Mirza Ghulam Ahmed since Nabil, I think. I do recall them pointing to, I mean, keep in mind, when the Quran talks about Jesus returning, at least that's how it's interpreted, Jesus returning. So they believe that is about Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. So you have passages about the second coming of Jesus, and they believe that is about Mirza Ghulam Ahmed. So pretty embarrassingly terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But that's cool that, we need to point that out. Hey, as terrible as you guys find these prophecies about Mirza Ghulam Ahmed, that's what you sound like when you argue about Muhammad in the Bible.
Yes.
The men of Al-Zut can testify that he was a true prophet. That's true. Hey guys, haven't seen a live in months. Hope you're, Hi, Michelle. Haven't seen a live in months. Hope you're both well. Islamic eschatology. To work chat made me laugh. You talk about the twerk chat. Hey, your audio's off, man.
Oh,
Guest has muted himself.
It's good to see you here, Michelle. Always on my mind. Always asking about you, praying for you, telling people about you. I'm very happy to see you here. So hope you're doing well, Michelle.
Indeed. Twerking. We got Harper in the chat, but how could Muhammad have known about twerking? A limerick for you. There once was a man with a mole who said, "Yo, I'm a messenger, let's roll." but he committed gross sin and was molested by jinn, whose narrative has been proven to have holes. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good one. AP and D Wood, why not invite Mother Agapia for a respectful discussion on your live stream? How would she react if confronted with truth and facts? You're welcome to request her. I'm not running out and trying to have a discussion with every lying weirdo on the planet, but you can message her and say we'd be happy to have a discussion. That's never going to happen, right? You know you're going on Tucker if you're blasting away at Jews or something like that. You know you've got a sympathetic ear. I don't think she's going to go anywhere where people are actually going to challenge her on what she's saying.
I would be happy to have such a conversation. So, in fact, this is a very good suggestion. I am messaging right now to see, or I'm looking right now if I can message her and arrange that.
Indeed. Guys, the prophethood of Muhammad cannot be denied. He was chosen by the men of Al-Zut again and again and again and again until he was exhausted. This is all true. That's probably the best evidence. I can teach Harper about Islam. Abu Bagr al-Zut Daddy. Yes. Harper, contact Abu Bagr al-Zut Daddy. He'll tell you the truth about your prophet. You should check out Tony Lapidus's on Tommy in Triggernometry. Oh, I didn't see that one. But yeah, we love that. Hey, AP, find the link and send it to me, and we'll watch it. I'll have to download it and stuff. But
what do you want me to watch? Oh, Lapidus? Okay.
Yeah. AP is paid by Israel to infiltrate the Orthodox Church to implement the Greater Israel Project as infallible doctrine.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. Do you think Muhammad Hijab is going to challenge the judge to Mubahala? Hijab can't challenge anyone. That's what sucks. He used to love, challenge you to Mubahala. He can't do it anymore. Because now everyone's going to be like, well, why won't you take the Mubahala challenge with your ex-wife who keeps challenging you? AP, when is the Prophet Tales episode 2 dropping?
Never. Probably when I'm dead. I don't know.
Yeah. Things didn't work out with the artist or something like that.
Yeah.
Muhammad Hijab singing. So you got to find someone who can animate in the same way, and then it can happen. Muhammad Hijab singing sadly at the beach yesterday. Yesterday, all my motor seemed so far away. Now it looks as if it's here to stay. Oh, I believe in more today. 5. I don't know what 5 stands for. 8.
Is that a picture of him on the beach, right? Like, is that real? That's not photoshopped or AI. He's on the beach with Brandy.
It looks real, and I wouldn't put it past him because the dude just does whatever he wants and believes that he can get away with anything. So he wouldn't even care. But I'd have to see it like in like a video or like a couple different camera angles. It looks completely authentic, but I've been trained over the past year and a half now to trust pictures.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a lookalike, just somebody who looks like him, or
it's Muhammad Hijab. AP said he saw him in a video.
It's most definitely him. He's also on the beach next to his friend, who is this black tall guy who is right next to him. He's also on a video in Spain where that is apparently taken, on a video together with that guy as well. So it's definitely him, but I'm not sure what the photo is about. But it looks very bad. It looks very suspicious. It looks like he was clearly caught on camera with on the beach, half naked, among all the naked people, with a bottle of brandy.
We know he doesn't mind being naked because he does have that. He does have that thing where he's basically stripping in front of everyone.
Yeah, he wants to look for an opportunity to take off his shirt. So, yeah,
it's pretty creepy. Pretty creepy. Here, let me grab this picture. Show people what we're talking about.
Yeah. It's. I just wonder. Like, I'm trying to think of all like the excuses. Like, could it? If it's him, okay, it's not a lookalike. But then could that actually be a bottle of brandy? It looks like it is. So I mean, like, wow, yeah.
That's Hijab, and you got a bottle there, bottle of brandy. The thing is, what could you catch this guy in that his followers will believe you about, right? You could have an entire video rolling of him just downing shots of Jack Daniels or something like that. And he could say, it's all a lie. It's Elon Musk using Grok to make powerful fake videos about me. And they would go, oh, it's Elon Musk framing Muhammad Hijab. And Harper would be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they're trying to set up Muhammad Hijab. And then Elon Musk spent his entire net worth trying to frame Muhammad Hijab. And the Quran's been perfectly preserved. It's a miracle. What is this religion, man? Hey, Mithrander says, AP is too scared to come to New York because Al-Zut is there.
That's true.
Oh,
That is actually
maybe
true.
I should go. There's Al-Zuda there. I don't know if I can.
We're about to find out. Hey, yeah, guys, everyone. Me, Mike Jones, God Logic, and Vocab are going to be in Times Square this Friday evening, this Saturday evening. Then we're somewhere else on Sunday. So you want to come say hi or come have a discussion about Muhammad? We'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
None looks like Steve Buscemi in the Adam Sandler movies. Is it actually Steve Buscemi, though? What is the best argument you've heard against the Islamic dilemma? Doesn't need to actually be a good one, though.
The one I heard is that yes, Jews and Christians are saved. They should follow their own scriptures, and this is the whole thing. It's like see, the thing is, Allah revealed different like paths to heaven. And so there's Islam is one, Christianity is another one, Judaism is another one. So, but these are all paths to heaven. So yeah, that's probably the best response I heard. I don't think it works because you could just say, well, why has Allah revealed Christianity, which is an exclusive path? Because Jesus says, unless you believe that I am, you will die in your sins. So it's very clear that the Christianity teaches we're only saved by Jesus. That's in Acts, that's in John. So then it's like, why is Allah revealing a path that claims to be, exclusive? If he's really revealing all these inclusive different, like an inclusive, religious sphere that encompasses a bunch of different religions that are all sort of paths to God.
It also doesn't work with Islam itself. It contradicts with the Quran, with the Quran's own perspective on all that, on exclusivity, because the Quran itself clearly says that Christians who believe in Jesus will go to hell and stay there eternally, and the Jews, they have to accept Islam, and anybody who does not accept Islam and who rejects Islam is going to go to hell and be punished and tortured brutally there and skinned alive and burned, and their skin restored again so that they can be burned again, and all that just for fun, So I don't think it works. I don't think it really works. It's not consistent with the Quran itself.
Yeah, I have to say, but I have to disagree. I think the best response to the Islamic dilemma, the only thing that I think could even possibly work, would be based on Surah 5, verse 48 of the Quran, where Allah says he gave different revelations to different people to keep them as different groups so that they would compete with each other in good works. Now, here's the thing, guys, and here's what you're overlooking. You're saying, oh, but the teachings of Christianity are so massively different from the teachings of Islam on certain basic doctrines that you just couldn't reconcile these. You're ignoring the fact that you're talking about a God who brags about being the best of deceivers. So don't think of this guy as completely honest when he's even revealing the Quran. In other words, the kind of God you have, if he actually wanted to do that, he could reveal to Christians Jesus is the divine Son of God who died on the cross for sins and rose from the dead, and tell Muslims that anyone who says that's going to hell, and not be serious. He's just not serious, and he could be lying about some of what he's saying. So he could be revealing all of this stuff, and from an Islamic perspective, could be revealing all this stuff and be deceptive in some of what he's revealing, just so there's no way to reconcile it, and you end up with all these different groups. Now, what sucks there is then you're dealing with a cosmic deceiver and you don't know what to believe anymore, but that's Islam. If someone says he has read the Quran cover to cover, they are lying. Well, I've read the Quran cover to cover. It was terrible and painful. No need to repent, AP. This nun married into the kingdom of light, then willingly became spokesperson for the kingdom of darkness, the very essence of prostitution. This is weird.
Makes sense.
A new Muslim convert debating D. Wood and AP is like starting a video game and going straight to the final boss. My name's Momo. I may be a homo. For you more for me.
Yeah.
Bill says, you know what's perfectly preserved? The raspberry and vanilla jam I made about 10 days ago. You see, it's the proof. That would be a good, powerful argument. Harper is probably a troll. Stop feeding him. It's a her, apparently. Wrong. 98:1-6 says, disbelievers who are given clear proof by Muhammad yet denying it will be in hell, the worst of creatures for rejecting clear evidence. No. Disbelievers who are given clear proof? What clear proof? We're not aware of any clear proof. Hey, you're muted, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess we're all not going to hell because there is absolutely no evidence for Islam. Scientific miracles argument debunked. Numerical miracles argument debunked even by Muslims. Perfect preservation debunked. What is the actual reason to believe the rantings of a 7th century caravan robber claiming he got revelations from God? He's not predicted in the Bible. Complete nonsense. Jesus never mentions Ahmed. I mean, what is there? What do we have?
Yeah, and I have to point out, as I pointed out in my recent debate, Allah's main argument for why Jews and Christians should believe in Muhammad, so the main clear evidence is that the Quran is affirming our books, and Muslims say it's not. And therefore, there went your clear proof. So we don't have any clear proof because the clear proof was supposed to be he's confirming our books. So we don't even have that, according to Muslims. Sad.
But David, you can't produce a surah as good as what is in the Quran. Therefore,
That's
it's from
true.
God.
That's true. Harper, you can't bring up minors here. Muslims might think this is a mosque. That would be sad. Harper is desperate for Muslim love. Yeah, it's sad. I have McMuta meals for Harper. Did you see the message to the Palestinians from a Saudi Arab on Tal Oran's channel? He takes no prisoners. I've seen some of those clips over the past year and a half, but I don't know if you're thinking of a specific one. Earlier today, Sam Shamoon was supporting the Palestinian nun. Didn't see that come. That is weird because that was some weird, creepy stuff. IP being professional again. Bring his mic to a hotel room. That is good. Yeah, I should bring my mic. We should go.
Yeah,
we should go.
Wasn't sure if we were going to stream it all in New York, so I just sort of threw it in my bag just in case.
Seems like we would. I mean, I don't know how late we're going to be out. I don't know if we're going to be out in Times Square debating till 2 or 3 in the morning, or if we're going to be like out there for a few hours and we're wrapping up at 11 and we might just come back and do a little live streaming.
I wasn't sure if we'd do one before, like in the afternoon or something. And so I knew we were going to be out there, like, so maybe like something like that. I didn't know. So I just said, I'll throw it in, whatever. It's not that heavy anyway.
Sandman says, y'all need more Muslim guests on. This is gold. Yes. Oh, and just so you know, I've mentioned this before, but here in a couple months, we'll be setting up for live call-in shows where Muslims can call in and challenge us on whatever topics we're discussing. Mosh, if you want the short version of the nun interview, check out Ami's house. The video mentions Sarah Khan. In 2013, she told Tommy he'd stop getting threats if he wasn't racist. In 2021, she left Islam, shared it in her mirror column, and faced death threats from her community. That's interesting. So she told Tommy he'd stop getting threats if he wasn't racist. Then she left Islam and then faced death threats. Weird. Somehow she became a racist. Harper, if a woman saw Ali Dawa's wife communicating with a whiteboard and said, Alhamdulillah, this is equality. Yeah, was it Ali Dawa who impressed you by having his wife communicate with a dry erase board? Hi, brothers. Can you debate these Muslim that preaches in Bronx Pelham Parkway? He always preaches lies and gives out Quran. Please humiliate him that I can show it to the people in the area. Well, send him down to Times Square. Send him down to Times Square. If you're talking about a Muslim that preaches in the Bronx, I've run into a couple of them over the years. There's Sadiq Abdul Malik. I think he's in the area. We'll see what happens. I learned today that Muhammad's own cousin converted to Christianity. It shocked me. His name was Ubaid Allah ibn Josh. Hey, good to see you all. In argument, I was told there's nothing in the Quran on women being second-class citizens. Can't read it, hurts my brain. Are they right? What are you talking about? The Quran says men are in charge of women, and it goes on to say that if women get out of line, you can beat them into submission. The Quran also says that the testimony of a woman is worth half the testimony of a man. So it's kind of a recipe for making women second-class citizens.
Yeah, you have Surah 2:23. Your wives are a tilth. You may plow them as you please. You have Sahih Muslim.
Hang on.
14:32.
Hang on. I want to point out the historical background on that verse. Your wives are a tilth. Plow them as you please. That was revealed in response to a woman who refused to have sex with her husband in certain positions she didn't want to have sex in, right? So she didn't want to have sex in certain positions, and she's refusing to have sex in these positions. She wasn't refusing to have sex, she's refusing to have sex in certain positions. And so they go to Muhammad, hey, what's Allah's ruling on this? Allah's ruling is your wives are your tilth for you to plow however you want, meaning she doesn't get any say in this matter.
Yeah, Muslims always talk about, but consent. Well, none of these passages ever say make sure the woman gives consent first. But you also have Sahih Muslim 14:36d, which says if a woman refuses to have sex with her husband, the angels will curse her until morning. Sahih al-Bukhari 26:58. Woman is half that of a man because of the deficiency of a woman's mind. Surah 4:34, where women are allowed to be hit striked by their husbands. And then, of course, we have Sahih al-Bukhari 58:25, where Aisha says the Muslim women are treated worse, and the any she's seen. And this one woman comes with her skin greener than her clothes. You have so many places.
Hey, and by the way, in that hadith where a woman was beaten until her skin turns green, Aisha says her skin is greener than her clothes. Quote that should be made famous everywhere. Aisha said, Aisha, the mother of the faithful, Muhammad's favorite wife, said, I have not seen any woman suffering as much as the believing woman. This is Aisha saying that Muslim women are treated worse than pagan women. Interesting. And then they'll still go, oh, Islam gave women rights. Women should convert to Islam. Knowing that they believe that these women are stupid enough to fall for it. And then Harper shows up and says, yes, they're right.
Every researcher I found says that, there's lower life expectancies for women in the Muslim world, less rights, less education. It's just awful. But yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
IP, does the Schrödinger equation show that the universe is eternal? Having a conversation with an atheist right now, and it seems like a jump to infer that. You seem to know a lot. What?
So the Schrödinger equation is nothing to do with the universe being eternal? That's not what it is. Not at all. It's a equation in quantum mechanics. Basically, it says, like before. How can I simplify this as best I can? Before collapse, it's in a superposition of like different states. Then measurement interacts with it, and it causes collapse to one definite state. And so that's basically it. It has nothing to do with this metaphysical claim that the universe is eternal. He doesn't understand the Schrödinger equation. He's using that to argue that.
And how do you explain cats?
That's a good point. I didn't think of it. There, yeah, right. When you factor in cats, the universe is eternal.
Powerful.
See.
If I saw a pastor take his shirt off, I'd walk out. Well, what would you do if Muhammad Hijab takes off his shirt? Bare Naked Hijabi says, I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve, have a history of taking off my shirt. Why is everyone talking about taking off shirts?
Right? Should I take off my shirt? Are we doing something?
Do
here?
not take off your shirt.
Sorry.
Don't go full Muhammad Hijab. Maybe Allah revealed different paths to heaven, and then he went to a beach and had too much brandy. Maybe Allah revealed different paths to heaven, and then he went to a beach and had too much brandy and started yelling and screaming about Jews and Christians. That does seem plausible. AP, for some reason, I seem to be perma-banned from the chat on your channel. Well, what did you do, Hungry Goat?
What did you do?
We know.
Yeah, you
He
did
ate
something.
part of Surah 33. That's what he did.
Did you eat a verse?
Did you?
Is that what you did?
You say, please unban me, brother, so I don't have to send all my Zionist money to D. Wood.
I will do that.
The channel is Hungry Goat, AP. Did you hear the nun's brother is George Stephanopoulos, the news guy and Democrat strategist? Yes, heard that.
I
I've
heard she
heard
was
such
into
things.
like liberation theology, which is like pretty Marxist. But I'm not sure. I can't verify.
I heard that too.
So-
I heard that too, but yeah, haven't confirmed. But yeah, been hearing lots of things. Hey, hi, David. Please steal and use a timeline I made on my channel. AI fought me, so it took so many drafts. It shows the problematic intro of the Injil. We have succumbed to pictures for educating. How sad. I will screenshot this. Check that out. A couple more. David may not be able to produce a surah like the Quran, but Robert does it pretty regularly. Oh, yeah, he does it like at the beginning of every show. Produces something better than the Quran. IP, have you done a video on debunking the numerical miracles of the Quran? Are people still using
I'm
that?
working on it. Oh yeah. So there's that money Muslim guy. You guys did a live on him a couple months ago. That tiny white guy looks like he's still in like junior high school. Saying I can prove the Quran in 60 seconds. He did it.
Okay.
So I actually had Big John Steele, put a bunch of that stuff through like an AI model using Python, and we're gonna get all the data and just go through and show. Yeah, this is complete nonsense. But I haven't had time
convert
'cause
to
I'm going
Islam.
Yes, I'm going to New York, but as soon as I get back, I'm gonna start getting that ready.
Save
to
Europe.
upload the video. Yeah.
Save Europe. Somebody said save Europe. That sounds good.
Christian hell is the anguish of being shut out from everything holy. Muslim hell is a psycho's revenge manifesto written in solitary confinement.
And if you were to ask C.S. Lewis, he would say that Muslim heaven is really hell, because when he wrote his book, The Great Divorce, he depicted people in a place called the Gray Town, which is hell. But in the Gray Town, anything you think comes to reality. So if you want money, food, women, a mansion, you just think it shows up. And they were all miserable. They're absolutely miserable there because, they just live for themselves. They have all their desires fulfilled, and that's not what
You said
real,
what? You said what's
real
that called?
well-being is.
You
The
said
Great
what's that called?
Divorce.
Oh, yeah.
The Great
No, see, there was a Twilight Zone episode that was like that. Have to see which one came first. There's a Twilight Zone episode. You can make a video out of this, man. Where he's like a mobster. He dies, and it's the afterlife, and he thinks he's in the wrong place, and he's looking around. He's like, "Hey, anything you want, just name it, anything you want." He's like, "I want a beautiful woman." So they bring him a beautiful woman, and he does his thing with a beautiful woman, and everything he wants, he just gets and stuff like this. And then eventually starts getting sick of it, and he says, "Hey, I'm starting to think that I'm in the wrong place. I should be in the other place." And the guy goes, "Oh, sir, you are in the other place." And the idea was, yes, you're actually in hell. Hell is getting anything you want whenever you want it.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man? No one cares about your stupid music. Why would any woman want to join Islam? Like what? Like why do you want to debase yourself like that? Some people just have an urge to be debased.
That's a fine idea. Somebody should make an AI version of the Islamic paradise. That's pretty nasty.
You could probably do that with AI, man. Just plug in everything the Quran says about it, and like
But it would
show
be like-
people's
it would be like
skins being melted
pornography.
off.
No,
Oh
in
yeah,
paradise.
yeah. So Islamic paradise is going to be a bunch of guys deflowering virgins for all eternity, and Allah restoring the virginity of the girls overnight so that they're virgins again the next day when the guys bang them again. And then hell is going to be people's skin being burned off and then replaced and so on. And so, yeah, either one of those is going to be, it's not going to work on YouTube, man. YouTube, if you made a video AI representation of Islamic paradise or of Islamic hell, neither one of them would be allowed on YouTube. Dawood.
Hey, P, do you remember when Daniel Hakikishu did that opening statement for a debate where he just ranted about secularism being the pleasure machine? And like we were like, he's just
No,
describing.
he said strap-on
Islamic
pleasure
hell.
machine. He said
Yeah.
strap-on
He did.
pleasure machine.
He did. And it's like he's just describing Islamic heaven. What's the problem?
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
Muhammad was like, oh, if there was a strap-on pleasure machine, I wouldn't need the men of Al-Zut. Lear Gill says, Dawood, mission Imam Possible is email I sent you. Yes, I do remember that. Okay, I remember that. I don't remember names very well, but yes, I remember this. AP, no, David and I gave you our contact info, didn't get yours. Would have replied last night on stream, but passed out as I'm here in the UK. Yeah, the issue, Lyric Girl, is I don't understand what this has to do with me. You're talking about like billboards and stuff in the UK. I don't know what.
Oh, you're right. I got your number. Okay, I checked it out. Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what a guy in the US who makes videos has to do with billboards and such in the US. I mean, in the UK. So I'm not even allowed in the UK. If Quran says women are a tilth, plow how you want, and we know what Al-Zut did to Muhammad, that means by a fallacy, we can conclude that Muhammad was a woman who's getting plowed.
I was thinking about that. Like, if we just avoid all the Dawa Bros interpretation of it. But like, do you guys know in like typical like a lot of ancient cultures, like that was a common practice, not out of lust, but because they actually thought you had to pass on masculinity that way. So there's a lot of tribes.
That's how Muhammad ended up with the sexual strength of 30 men. They injected it into him.
Well, that could be an explanation for why the Hadith exists. They wanted to explain how he was so manly. Look at how manly he was, because in like certain cultures that can be in the Middle East, they can be in Africa, Southeast Asia, the Americas, even Australia, they actually thought that when a boy reached a certain point, he had to be inseminated to become a man, because you were passing on like manliness and virility to them. So like you could just picture like, some people in Arabia or like after like the Abbasids, making up hadith going, well, we need to explain how he was so manly here. This is what happened to him. Like that would actually make sense in terms of like that old stupid cultural idea that was wiped out by the West as we spread around our culture and got rid of that crap.
AP's actually listening to his song now and can't even hear us apparently because hey, AP.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
You just missed like one of the most important things we've ever heard.
No, I didn't. I was listening.
Yeah, where I learned some of that?
That's a video, man. That's a video.
Sources.
Yeah, give me sources on ancient cultures, especially the men of Al-Zut. Believing that in order to turn someone into a man and in order to confer manliness on someone, you had to inject it into him, basically, and that this would explain, the Night of Al-Zut would explain how Muhammad ended up with the strength of 30 men. They literally injected it into him.
I mean, yeah, one of the
you provide me those sources, IP. I'll do the rest. I know the Muslim sources. I don't know those other sources, but I know the Muslim sources. If you give me some, I can put it all together.
I got a couple. I mean,
yes,
there's a book called The Anthropology of Childhood I read, but one of the papers that discusses it, Daniel Hakikachu was actually recommending and didn't read it. It was a paper from his favorite psychologist, Bruce Rind, and Bruce Rind discusses a lot of that in one of those papers. And he keeps saying over and over again, yeah, this practice continued in this region until missionaries showed up and ended it. This practice continued in this region until Westerners showed up and ruined it. Like, it's kind of funny that's the history.
Pendragon says, I once saw an atheist who says there is no evidence of God, but he believes the universe expands and contracts, something with less evidence than God. Yeah. So we have good evidence that the universe is expanding, that it's going to contract. No. So, yeah, you'd have better evidence for God than for the universe oscillating. But it is interesting that you will have people who, no, I demand evidence, but they'll believe something that they just heard somewhere. And it's, I point out they're not real skeptics, right? They're inconsistent skeptics. They'll be skeptical of, some claim that they don't want to believe in or some religious claim or something like that, but they'll be completely gullible with any naturalistic claim. Like if you say, hey, DNA just came together on its own, they'll go, oh, see, that makes sense. No investigation at all. Or consciousness arises just from particles in motion and so on. Yep. You got problems. Inconsistent skeptics. A Nice Place to Visit is the episode name. That's the Twilight Zone name.
Really?
The Muslim,
what's it called?
A Nice Place to Visit.
A Nice Place to Visit. That's the Twilight Zone episode where the guy is given everything he wants and it turns out to be hell. Yeah, you could always it's cool like making little videos out of old episodes of shows and stuff like that where they make some point like that. The Muslims Guy YouTube channel. Way of Life SQ. Who's that?
Oh, I know that guy.
Who?
He's a complete dope. I think he's the guy who gave a speech about how we have to we can civilize the West by
Oh,
teaching them how to wipe your butts. Or
Yes,
something.
they don't know how to wipe themselves. They use toilet paper. They don't know you have to use an odd number of stones. We're here to civilize them, and they'll alhamdulillah.
That's
and
what
then Harper
inspired the
goes.
beautiful
Harper goes.
Quran.
Oh, they're here to civilize us. Okay, let me fall for that.
That's what inspired one of the best songs ever. Alhamdulillah.
Powerful. Explains what. Can you tell me how to wipe my butt? That was what inspired that song. That was funny. Ground control. That was funny. Explains why D-Wood get people bragging about al-Zut. That's what I do. Please develop an animation tract about the preservation of the Quran to share with Muslims when they say Allah preserve the Quran. We do need, matter of fact, Jai and DOC are basically going to be working for me here in the near future. We're going to be doing live streams together and stuff like that, but I will officially have them on my official team and stuff like that. But one of the things we're going to do is like make sure that this is all handy, easy to pull up. Like here's one Quran, here's a different Quran. Like just individual verses, easy to share, either little videos or little basically memes and stuff. Here's this verse of the Quran in Arabic. Here's a different version of the Quran with the same verse in Arabic, and they contradict each other, and just put that in people's hands and stuff like that, so they can pull it up easily whenever they're talking to the Dawa guys. So all this will be done.
Nice.
All right. Well, IP, we went on a long tangent started by Harper distracting us and making us make fun of Muhammad. And then we went through a ton of super chats. So we're like well over an hour into this live stream, and we're actually getting to what we're here for, which is Tommy Robinson on Triggernometry. So IP, you familiar with Tommy Robinson?
Yeah, I've seen him around. He seems pretty cool.
You familiar with Triggernometry? You should be on that show, man.
Well, they've not invited me, so invite me on Triggernometry. I will come.
Hey, Triggernometry, what's wrong with you? Constantine,
Yes.
what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Constantine.
Constantine kissing, more like Constantine running from inspiring philosophy. Man.
Afraid of my powerful dawa.
All right, so here he was on, I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes, hour and a half, but between an hour and 2 hours, or was it longer? I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. But they interviewed Tommy. A bunch of it was sort of stuff that he's given like his background and life story and stuff like that. We've gone through that. In other videos. But there's an interesting section in this Triggernometry interview where Tommy starts breaking down some of the problems with Muhammad and the Quran that should concern Westerners more than they seem to.
Wait, there's problems with Muhammad? I thought he was perfect.
Isn't it weird? And Tommy didn't even bring up al-Zut.
Oh, sad.
What I'm really interested in, Tommy, and I think it's really important to have this conversation properly, right, is you talk about the fact that you're a very smart guy, I can tell. Very smart. We've sat across some of the most intelligent people in the world. You're a smart guy, right? But you were not educated. You just had experiences when you were growing up. Is that fair to say, right?
That's fair to say.
So you know this.
You guys catch this?
He's insulting him. See.
No, that was very important, guys. They're saying, Tommy, you are obviously smart, which that's true. But
You're uneducated.
not well educated. You're not well educated. So you didn't go to Oxford and stuff, but you're clearly smart. You have lots. It's actually good that they brought that up because it seems to be this huge issue in the UK that if you don't go to Oxford and have the posh accent and stuff like that, you can't be trusting what you're saying. And so it's like, what are you talking about? Dude is clearly smart and clearly knows a lot of stuff that your Oxford elites don't know. Why wouldn't we listen to him?
This actually came up during the conference. When I was at the conference, at Meyer Treacy's conference, who was that? I was on stage with Carl Benjamin, Starganoff Akkad, and with Andrew Gold, and with some other guy who was actually a very respectable guy, but I don't know who he was and what his name is. But he was an older, more serious person, unlike us clowns. But a conversation came up about how things are said and about how how Tommy Robinson, when he says things, is disregarded or seen as a troublemaker and all that, whereas when Douglas Murray says the very same things, he's listened to and all that. The very same problem that you brought up so many times, the whole comparison between Douglas Murray and Tommy Robinson being people who say the very same thing but just in different ways, in different accents, and how that has a very big impact in the UK. That very conversation came up during the conference, and that was very interesting. Maybe somebody stole your idea. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone always steals my stuff, man.
Yeah. Stop stealing David's ideas, man.
Yeah, I can't even complain because I always steal everyone else's stuff, and I don't give credit. I just act like it's mine. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? All right, back to Tommy, who they've just acknowledged is smart and has experiences.
This, you've seen that, you've seen this happen to your cousin. All of these things are going on. You experience things. But then, and this is what I really want to hear your opinion.
Hold up, check this out. Look at this. This has been a thing for a while. David Wood missing his son. Oh, I can't refute anything he's saying, so I'll say he's missing his son. Earlier today, Muslim messaged me on Twitter and said, the reason your son died is because God was protecting him from being raised by you. And then until I asked the obvious question, so why did all of Muhammad's 3 sons die as children? Why did all of Muhammad's 3 sons die as children? Following the same reasoning, we'd have to say it was Allah killed them to protect them from being raised by the most obvious false prophet in history. That sound about right? Adiz? Adiz? Huh?
From being zooted.
Adiz,
Yes.
this is for you.
He killed your prophet. Allah killed your prophet's sons to keep them from being all zooted by their fake prophet.
Adiz, this is because of you. Adiz knows. This is the Quran. Look, listen to the Quran. Let's do some Quran ASMR. Here, look at this.
Why are you messing with the Quran? What did the Quran ever do to you? Oh, it convinces these guys to act like this.
I always like this. Like, they really think this is going to help or prove anything, or is it just going? Like, is it just a power trip for them?
No, it's desperation. They don't know what to do, right? They basically their entire lives they have based all their case for Islam on lies, and it's all being dismantled by people like us, crumbling thanks to people like us. And then what do? They react emotionally, which is kind of programmed into them. Anyway, I'll just leave that up there for a while. Here we go.
Right? Is you started to actually study. You started to look at Islam. You read the Quran. You tried to understand the scriptural part of all of this, right? And this is really where I think a lot of the conversation is now at, which is about Islam and the West, compatibility. Why is it that things are becoming more tense? Why is it that thing you talk about how when Muslims fight non-Muslims, even your Muslim friends will join them rather than you, right? So what is it that you've learned and what is it that you believe about Islam? Can you explain that part to people?
Yeah, so 2010.
Hold up. People talking about Tommy here being smart. Where'd that go? It just passed. Passed right by. Where is it? They were talking about Tommy being smart, Tommy being street smart and stuff like that. Oh, anyway. Well, it passed too far. All right, let's just listen. All right, so Tommy's given his background of actually studying. This is actually good. So he's smart, not like Oxford educated like some of the other guys. But what happened when he started seeing a problem? He studied. He started studying.
It's a crime. 2010, I'm in jail. I'm doing 22 weeks of solitary confinement at that point. Yeah.
For what?
For illegally entering America.
Right.
Stupid move.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was? I'll tell you the truth. I sort of like lived my life where I think if you worry about consequence, you're never going to bring about change. And I wanted change. Yeah. So I felt at that time in 2000, I went to America 2009 or 10. I was detained at JFK and deported. And I thought, no, I've got an important message to give America. And so I went again on a friend's passport. I got in. Yeah, I got in. And I gave a speech called A Warning to America. And what I've always said is, I wish someone come to my town 30 years ago and said, listen, this is what's going to happen unless you stop it. So I went to America, knowing what I was doing was wrong, knowing it was risky. I thought I'd end up in jail in America.
Were you laughing at this or something else, IP?
No, he's like, yeah, I was in jail for, trying to sneak in America. And then he's like, yeah, then I went back with a friend's passport. Like, pretty dumb. Like, don't do that.
Yeah. So it's actually, you're right. It's kind of funny. It's cool that he's like, I was wrong. That was stupid. Right. But he said his reasoning was people need to hear this. I wish someone had told me this. And so I really wanted to tell people, and I didn't care if I was risky. I didn't care if I was, going to get in trouble. I wanted people to hear this. So it's kind of a situation where like, yeah, I get it. But yeah, don't do that, man. Don't do that. Because that affects you all. That affects, traveling for all the future and stuff like that. You're going around on someone else's passport and so on.
But I didn't. I got detained here when I got back, and I spent 22 weeks on solitary confinement. Now, a Muslim outreach...
Mate, you know what? You're f***ing insane. You know that?
Yeah.
Like, from what I've seen of American prison, that is not a place you want to go to
No,
voluntarily.
but you know, crazily...
I was there way more than that. No, prison's fun.
crazily... I thought at the time, remember, we began the English Defence League, I'm a deep thinker, yeah?
Yeah.
I believe this country's in danger. And
agree with
I believe my children are in danger. And I believe the enjoyment and freedoms we've all had are going to be eroded and taken, and the kids won't have them. And this is far bigger than me or my kids. This is about a generation of our kids. And I believe that. And I've believed it since growing up.
I agree.
Guys, you catching this? It's like, this is like serious, like civilization destroying dangers. That's why I'm willing to take some risk and do some stupid stuff that might get me into trouble. This is not a time. Dude, can't even hear anything because of your stupid music.
I think it's beautiful.
I think it's the worst elevator crap I've ever heard in my entire life. And you should be ashamed to have that associated with a apostate music channel.
I got an instrument. I'm trying to learn it, man. What is
And
this?
your stupid mic adjusts so that even if it's playing softly, your mic keeps turning up the volume. And then when you finally speak, it's all like clipping and crap like that.
Killing me softly with this.
Killing me softly. There's something else I want to point out. Just like personalities and so on. So people are like, hey, look, Tommy, he used a friend's passport and he snuck into the U.S. on a friend's passport. And I want to point out, guys, the same like personality traits that if your entire country is trying to destroy you and your government's trying to destroy you would keep you from backing down. That's the personality of a risk taker, right? You understand. You're someone who's willing to face danger and take risks and so on. But guess what? The person who's willing to take risks when his government is trying to destroy him is also the sort of person who would take risks in using someone else's passport and stuff like that. So it kind of goes with the territory. Keep on, not saying don't do it. You have to keep that under control. I'm saying the people who will stand against Islam when all of society is trying to destroy them for it are people who are willing to face all kinds of risks and dangers and so on. So don't be surprised if you see these guys doing something like this.
So when this was starting...
What do you mean by freedoms, by the way?
I mean that the ability to speak, because they just curtail and suppress, and it suits the government as well. So they create the problem a lot of the time, which they're doing. And I think maybe I've played my part in that role where they want us all clashing with each other. Because as we're clashing with each other, we're not looking at them. And they want everyone separated into gay, straight, black, white, BLM, this group, that group. You're all warring with each other. And whilst you're warring with each other, they're implementing so many laws that you're not even listening about. And all those laws are going to curtail and prohibit your speech and your ability to even have discussions on any of these issues. And the reason being that most of the issues are coming from the government. It's their failure. It's all their problems. I don't blame Muslims for coming here. I don't blame Muslims in the UK for wanting Sharia law because this tells them to want it. So I don't blame them.
Well, let's come back to that, right? So you go to America, you because you thought you had an important message.
Yep.
I
spent 2 days in New York. If I knew I was going to do 22 weeks in solitary confinement, I'd spent a few months touring, wouldn't I? Yeah. I spent 2 days. I've got 22 weeks in solitary. Whilst I'm in there, I get sent a Quran by Muslims. And so
You hear that? Did you catch that, IP? He said he was in He was in solitary. He's in solitary, and Muslim. AP, man, mute yourself. It's like awful. You're playing the soft stuff. It's massively dialing up your volume, and then it's all these dumb noises popping out the entire time.
I'm not doing anything right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you mute yourself if you're. Your mic is adjusting and going through the roof to where you're clipping as soon as you say something.
Okay, fine.
with all this dumb stuff you're playing in the background. Say something.
Hello.
There we go. All right, you're good now.
Hello. I am speaking to the world, to
Good.
mankind. We are facing a great danger as a species. So, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. But if you start playing music softly, then it's going to dial you up.
Strumming my pain with a finger.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
What was he just saying? Oh, so this is awesome. It's Tommy's in solitaire, and Muslims think, oh, we will show him that Islam is the truth, and Tommy will come out and convert to Islam when he sees the powerful evidence from the Quran. All he needs to do is read it. He comes out wrecking Islam. That's awesome.
Convert me. So I take the Quran. I think, right, I've got a lot of time on my hands here. Let's have a look at this book. Right? Now, I don't know how many people know this, but the Quran is not in chronological order.
That's
I didn't
true.
know this. So one thing Muhammad says one day is next to something he says 20 years later. So for you to try and, any of us to try and make sense, it's like what the Christians used to do. They wanted everyone illiterate so they could control the population. Yeah. The Quran is like an encrypted war manual that you can't make sense of. Yeah?
That
We
is a good
wanted-
description. What?
He says Christians wanted the population illiterate. No.
He says there was a time when they wanted a population of illiterate Christians so they could control them.
Okay. I thought he said Christians wanted an illiterate population, which is
He did. He said
Makes
Christians
all sense.
wanted an illiterate population to control them.
I like to know who he's referring to, because like if you read early church fathers, they constantly encouraged not only reading of the scriptures, but also even pagan philosophy and pagan stories like
hang
John
on.
Chrysostom, Augustine. So I don't know what he's talking about there.
And
Hang on.
Inspiring philosophy, if this is correct, is it true that wherever Christianity spread, literacy went through the roof?
Oi! It's true, mate. It's true. I got a video, a script I'm currently finished up and working on for a video in September called How Christianity Educated the World. And yeah, pretty much they invented, Christians would go into places like even in like the first 500 years of Christianity, they would invent languages like so that people could read the Bible in their own language. They would do that with like they did that with also when they came over to the New World, when we met Native Americans, we invented the Algonquian alphabet, but they did this for Armenian, Coptic, Gothic alphabets. And they also advanced the Ge'ez script in Egypt to make it more usable for scripture. So yeah, they were pretty much Christianity is one of the biggest driving factors to get people educated over the past 2,000 years, because Christians were so motivated. They're like, hey, you need to read the Bible. Well, let's invent a written language so that you can read the Bible.
Alhamdulillah.
Hey,
See?
hey, IP.
IP2.
When you put out your video on that, matter of fact, I've seen you you made a video on that already. I recall literacy, didn't you?
Literacy? I don't think I made a video called How Christianity Changed the World, where I covered some studies on how missionaries were advancing education. And you watched that, David, if you remember. You told me to do more videos, so I'm doing that series.
Yeah, no,
I
but didn't that one include literacy?
Included some, yeah, showing missionaries were responsible for a lot of literacy around the world, advancing that stuff. I also did a section on that video on healthcare, economic progress, whole bunch of different studies on missionaries.
Hey, so anyway, there was a point to me saying that this would be an easy, quick video. You title it "What Tommy Robinson Got Wrong" in his interview on Triggernometry, and you just play that little clip, and you say, "Here's the reality. Oh, and here's my longer video on this topic." Boom.
Well, I will do that as soon as the video is out. Yes.
But the point Tommy's making here about Islam, it's very interesting. He said the Quran is like an encrypted war manual. Since it's out of order and it doesn't tell you what's abrogating what and so on, it's a war manual. It's a manual for subjugating the world, but it's all out of order and you can't tell what's what, and you need all these scholars and stuff to try and figure things out for you, and so you can't understand it and you don't know what it's if you're not knowledgeable about it, you don't know how it's trying to train people to destroy you. Interesting.
And it's important that you can make sense of it, because abrogation in Islam means whatever Muhammad says later in his life supersedes what he says earlier. So if there's two contradictory verses, if he says love the Jews and then later he says kill the Jews, then which one did he say later? Yeah? This one matters. This prohibits this one. So they give me the Quran. And then I thought, right, let me make a few points here. Do not be friends with Christians or Jews. And I challenge anyone to do this. Pick up a Quran and go through and make reference to the verses that tell you not to be friends with Christians or Jews. And I started writing these verses and I had pages of them. And I was like, it was like a jigsaw just fell into place. Everything I've seen growing up, the Muslim playground, the Muslim dinner tour, the friends who side with them, well, they're taught from a little age. Supremacy, they're taught not to be friends with us. They can't be friends with us. 70% of this book talks about us. How they need...
But why are you guys talking about Muhammad? 70% of the book talks about us. Hey,
This is very true what he's saying. I mean, like, you go through the Quran, it's like it gives Muslims a superiority complex. It says, like, they are the best that Allah has ever raised up. The Jews and Christians are the worst of people. Surah 3:7 says, if you're rejecting the Quran, you're somebody who's without reason. It says not to take us as friends. I mean, like, how do you not come away as a Muslim without a superiority complex reading this book? Like, it's the exact opposite of the Christian scriptures, which says, like, Jesus came to heal the sick. He did not come to the morally righteous. He came because he's a spiritual doctor here to call sinners. Paul says he's the chief of sinners. I mean, like, it's the exact opposite of what you get in the Christian scriptures, which says we're sinners, we need grace, we're not good people, this is why Jesus came to die for us. Which one is going to actually create humility and which one is going to create a superiority complex? It's pretty damn obvious.
and then you look at the results, and AP already kind of mentioned it. We're here to civilize them, dude. Yeah. Good luck with that. It's interesting though, because earlier in the interview, Tommy gives again his entire background growing up, and he starts seeing all these issues, like why do the Muslims? He's saying, hey, you had all kinds of different people, all kinds of different races. We're all sitting together in the cafeteria, but the Muslims would be in their own section, not because they're made to. It's just they didn't want to be just with everyone else. And he said it's on the playground, it's like that. And he said he had Muslims who are friends, but there would occasionally be like a fight would break out or something like this, and his Muslim friend would jump on the Muslim side of things and be against him, like in a heartbeat if it came to that. And he said this was all puzzling him his entire life growing up and seeing what's going on. And then he goes to prison, and Muslims send him a Quran. This will show you the truth. And he starts going through it. Oh, now everything makes sense. The grooming gangs, all this stuff, it all makes sense now. So you helped Tommy understand all this, and then he used it to start wrecking your religion and informing people what you're actually plotting against the West. Bad mistake, guys. Don't hand someone your encrypted war manual. Don't do it. But you do, because you're dumb.
Treat us. So as I'm reading it, I started making sense of it, and that was and I didn't stop after that, if I'm honest. I didn't stop learning, and then when I got out of jail, I thought, right, many people watching this probably just think Jesus is like Muhammad. Muhammad is like Jesus. Two prophets, two alleged prophets. Right, they're nothing like each other, because I took the biography of Muhammad by Ibn Ishaq. So I like to go to the sources, the most recognised and renowned sources in the Islamic world. So again, not Tommy Robinson's opinion. This is not my story. This is the Islamic scholars of history, the best ones there are, of their life of Muhammad. So I started reading Life of Muhammad, and I read the Jewish tribe surrender. And this is why it's important, so people understand how important scripture is. Do you remember the Peshawar school attacks?
I don't know.
In Pakistan. So the Taliban, or Al-Qaeda, one of the two, they attacked a school, and there was outrage about it. But what they did when they attacked schools, they pulled the pants down of all the kids. And anyone who started puberty was killed and beheaded, and anyone who hadn't was sacrificed as war booty. Yeah? Well, that's exactly what Muhammad did. This is why scripture is important. So the Jewish tribe...
Gosh, this is actually very smart, guys. So
Good.
there's the stuff that happened in his life and he didn't understand. Hey, what's going on? Is this just a cultural thing? Is this just like a Pakistani thing? What's going on? Why are these guys behaving differently? Why are they acting like this and so on? Then he gets the Quran and, all of a sudden I understand this stuff. I understand why they act like this. I understand what their religion has done to them. But then he starts making sense of other things that happen, right? Like, hey, because now he's talking about going through Ibn Ishaq, biography of Muhammad, our earliest biography of Muhammad. He's saying, hey, there's an attack, and they take over the school, and they make everyone drop their pants, and they're checking for your pubic hair. And if you've gone through puberty, then they kill you. And if not, then they do something else with you. And he's pointing out it's exactly what Muhammad did. Exactly what Muhammad did. And so it's all coming together for Tommy. Thank you. Whoever sent him that Quran. Thank you. Because now he's on Triggernometry. Now he's on all the big shows. And he's exposing your fake prophet.
Surrender. Now, when they surrender, Muhammad tortures Kanana, he's the leader of the Jewish tribe, setting fire to his stomach to rob his gold. What sort of prophet is this? I'm thinking, what sort of man is this? Jesus says, turn the other cheek. Muhammad's torturing and burning people and robbing them. Yeah. So
for money. The guy's crime was he knew where some money was hidden and he didn't want to tell them. And so Muhammad, this is Kanana, this is in Ibn Ishaq, but Muhammad has one of his followers light a fire on this dude's chest to torture him. Interesting. And then Muhammad, and then after killing him, Muhammad bangs the dude's wife, Sophia. What are you saying?
I am kind of impressed that Tommy remembers the details of these things. You know, he knows his stuff, so it's good.
What's the guy's name in Life of Muhammad? That I was going to search for it because I have it up right now.
Oh, Kanana. Yeah. Kinana.
Ah. Yeah, there it is. It's on now. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, this is pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, so
I've been trying to go through this. There's a lot. It's super long.
Well, and it sucks. It's because a lot of it's just like lists of names and stuff like that.
Yes.
But yeah, so Muhammad tortures this Jewish guy, has him tortured, has a fire lit on his chest. Then they execute him, and then Kanana had the hottest wife there, and Muhammad takes his wife. IP, just so you understand how all of this is connected. You heard of Dihya al-Kalbi? Guy who was banging Muhammad's buddy. Well, as a reward for Kanana's faithfulness in banging his prophet whenever he wanted, being his domineering love interest, Muhammad gave Dihya first pick of the sex captives. Dihya picked the hottest one, Sophia. And then it gets reported to Muhammad, hey, this chick is really, 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 really hot. So what does Muhammad do? He says, hey, Dihya, I'll go ahead and give you several sex slaves in exchange for her. So Dihya gets a bunch of sex slaves in exchange for Sophia. And then Muhammad takes Sophia back to his tent and bangs her after just slaughtering and subjugating her population and torturing and killing her husband. Takes her back. And if you've ever heard the story about the night where one of Muhammad's followers stands guard all night because he was worried that a woman was going to kill him, that was Sophia. It's like you just killed her family. You just killed her family, and now you're having sex with her. And so he was standing guard outside Muhammad's tent in case she tried to kill him when he fell asleep and so on. That's Muhammad.
Yeah, I found it. It's on page 515 of the torturing of fire, where Kanana is tortured. So the apostle gave the orders that the ruin was to be excavated and some of the treasure was found. When he asked him about the rest, he refused to produce it. So the apostle gave orders to al-Zabari bin al-Awan, torture him until you extract what he has. So he kindled a fire with flint and steel on his chest until he was nearly dead. Then the apostle delivered him to Muhammad bin Maslama, and he struck off his head in revenge. So yeah, he totally tortured him with fire, treasure, and then cut off his head on page 515 of the Life of Muhammad. If anybody wants to look that up, I'm going to highlight this so I remember it.
Good stuff to know. And guys, remember the name.
Very long to go through. Very long.
I would all the reading you do. I would assume that's like 5 seconds for you. I've read it and I memorized it.
I'll try.
Robbing them, And then after robbing them, he takes that night, Sophia, so any Muslims, and when I had this conversation with Muslims, they don't even know about this, half of them. Yeah? I said, he took the man's wife that night and married her. Now here's the two different worldviews. I see that as raping the man's wife that night. Other Muslims have said, well, no, he saved her from a life of slavery, from all the other men raping her, because he took her. He was actually really good because he saved her. It's like, what? But anyway, he beheads these people, he does this, and I started going through his life. And he walks past another Muslim at another point, and this is all in scripture, and he says, have you derobed her? He's on about another slave. I said, no, give her here. So then I started understanding, and I started finding verses in here, there's 4, that say, outside of the 4 wives, what Muhammad tells you is you can take non-Muslim women as sexual slaves, and you'll blame, one of the verses says you're actually blameless. So I think,
straight out of the Quran.
Rotherham, Telford, all these towns and cities, are they taking non-Muslim women as sexual slaves? Now, this is not confusing. Boko Haram's leader, when they took the girls in Nigeria, come out and said, Muhammad has commanded us to do this. Well, he has. Read the scripture. Yeah? Al-Qaeda, ISIS, what did they do to the Yazidi? This is not made up. There's not 30, 40 different terrorist groups all singing off the same hymn sheet. Yeah, this is a problem. And again, it's great that the majority of Muslims don't read this and take it literally. That's great. But the problem's coming from this. And I tried to have this conversation with Piers Morgan. We get onto him. I tried to have this conversation. So what I've done, so as I learned more, I then learned about Islam, I learned about Muhammad. I think we need to understand who Muhammad was. Yeah? If we've got 4 million British Muslims now who think Muhammad was perfect, and Muhammad married a 6-year-old girl when she was 9, we're going to have a problem.
You know what that is? That is basic common sense. If you've got 4 million people who think this guy's an ideal pattern of conduct, and what did this guy do? Well, he would gladly take women and girls as captives, sex slaves, all sorts of things. And he thinks even if you're 9, you're fair game for sex. Probably going to run into some problems here, especially if you view the non-Muslims as complete garbage that you can do whatever you want with. It's like basic common sense that the politicians and journalists don't have, but Tommy does. And that's why apparently going to Oxford ruins your brain, doesn't make you smarter.
It's pretty rude.
If Muhammad beheaded and took sexual slaves, we're going to have a problem. If Muhammad taught all this, in the Quran, 7% of Mein Kampf is Jew hatred. 7%. 11% of that book. Mein Kampf is banned. This isn't banned. This is taught across the whole country. Now, you're not even allowed to have this conversation. And the Labour government...
you are.
Yeah.
We're having this conversation.
We're having it, but Labour government want to bring in Islamophobia laws that would prevent us even having this conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you say you allowed it. We've come a long way.
You are now.
Yeah.
This is fair. Look, I this is why I wanted to ask you about this, Tommy, because I don't know exactly what I think about it. I just want to hear your opinion because
David.
you've been talking...
What?
Why do you still have that chat on your screen the entire time?
Why not? Guy wanted attention. That's a D's, man. Cut a D's some slack.
A D's.
We want people to understand what these guys are. So there.
this for a very long time, and I think you have been, I was going to say demonized, and I think it's probably the correct term. You have been demonized for talking about it. But I also think as the nature of what has been happening in this country is coming out, that I know, just speaking to lots of people, these are people who are not going to be on the streets in a riot. These are people who are sitting in TV studios and they're doing, you know, comedy, and they're doing journalism, and they're doing politics, and none of them will ever say anything publicly. But there are a lot of people now who are going, you know what, Tommy's been saying a lot of things that have been proven correct. So that's just where we're at. People can pretend that's not happening. That is what's happening.
Oh,
right?
That's happening.
But what I'm trying to understand is what it is that you're saying, because one of the things that I don't understand, genuinely don't understand, is where we go from here, right? What is it that you think we ought to do? Because what you're saying, correct me if any of this is not your view, right? What you're really saying is Islamic doctrine is divisive and hateful towards non-Muslims, and it is about domination, right?
And it's incompatible with Western freedom and democracy.
And it's incompatible with Western freedom and democracy, which is where I think a lot of people's concern with that message is, for the simple reason of like, well, what do we do?
That's the point.
Is that a fair question?
If we accept this, if you accept we're right, what the hell are you going to do?
Right.
Because you've got 4 million Muslims here.
Yes.
You guys getting this?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You know what? What I found in my research about this is I was reading a book, and he was saying the most moderate Muslims in the world are American Muslims, and the reason why is because they adopted the American dream. They come here, they see all the luxuries, they see all the goods, and they're like, "Yeah, we want this," and so they really secularize and they don't push stuff. Meanwhile, in Europe, and especially places like France, they started cracking down on Muslims and saying like, "No hijabs, no this, no this," and so it kind of made them like rebel, like kind of like an identity rebellion. Like if you're going to attack us for being Muslim, we're going to rebel and we're going to really sink into the Muslim identity. So I don't know, it's like I think like if you have like a more free market economy where you don't have so many government restrictions, you just sort of let things work its way out. I think if you didn't let so many Muslims in, like the UK did, they would slowly dissipate. Like a lot of Muslims come to Tucson, Arizona, where I live, and they immediately secularize. Like very, very few like really become super religious when they come here.
So what you're saying is we should allow Muslims to say whatever they want to. We should allow Muslims to do whatever they want to do. That's what you're saying.
No, but I mean, like there is this kind of thing. Like I think they need to be like, hey, you want to come live over here, fine, but you need to like adapt, and you need to like assimilate, and that pressure needs to sort of be put on or incentivized, at least like incentivize adopting a new culture, assimilating in. And I think that would be the best thing to do, because over maybe not one or two, but a couple generations, they would definitely secularize. Like I've seen this at like around the Tucson area. You'll see like someone with a hijab on, and their kids are like teens, and the girls don't have a hijab on, even though they're teens. So there is hope. It's just, you got to do it right.
I read on this, I think it was, I want to say it is Pew Research, but there was an article on one of the researchers years ago, which was also about this very topic. It was about how I think it was Pew Research, which was about how American Muslims, compared to other Muslims around the world, happen to be the least religious or the least Islamic Muslims or the most secular Muslims. And as reasoning, there were different reasons given. And some of them were, for example, that in Europe, when Muslims come together, they have significantly more Muslims around them, so that they are always together in a Muslim community, that they are surrounded by Muslim stuff, that they have their mosques set up and all that. So it is very difficult for them to integrate into the country that they came into, because they basically have their Muslim society around them and their Muslim community encouraging them and keeping them with the Muslim traditions and all that. Whereas in America, it is significantly more common that that Muslims don't know any other Muslims, or know very few other Muslims, or don't have much of a connection to other Muslims. So that is one factor. Another factor is that people who come to America compared to people who come to Europe happen to be people who are more ready or more willing to leave a lot of stuff behind, and to leave a whole world behind, and a whole ocean behind, and all that. But you're right, that other factor also plays into it. Interesting stuff.
No, IP's wrong. What IP just said was Muslims who come to America come for the American dream, whereas in Europe they're making burqa bans and stuff, and this is causing them to react. No, the burqa bans were an attempt to get them to integrate. So it's all. I mean, all this is connected, and it's connected. What you're saying and what AP is saying is all connected. That if you're talking about areas, you're talking about Muslim areas in like the UK, for instance. You've got millions of Muslims, but they're located in particular cities. So you got like 1.3 million in London, ton in Birmingham, ton in Luton and stuff. And so you're part of a Muslim community. It's hard to integrate, because you stop wearing the burqa or something like that, your family's right there, and all your friends and stuff are right there, and they're going to start condemning you and calling you all sorts of names and maybe harm you and so on, and honor kill you and things like that. So So you don't integrate. You don't integrate, and you have no need to integrate. And so eventually people start freaking out, and eventually you get some governments saying, hey, we're gonna kind of make you guys integrate at least a little bit. We're gonna ban certain things and so on. But you're right in the sense that Muslims will then use that to say, you see, they're at war with us. That's why we have to subjugate them.
Yeah. What I'm saying is like the book I was reading says the American dream sort of incentivized them to integrate better. I'm not saying all of them did. I'm not saying like it was a perfect solution. I mean, I think Islam itself is going to be the main problem, but that's what the researchers I was saying were stating is that, yeah, in America, it was more of an incentive to want to like pursue the American dream, less so in Europe. And that's not even entirely Europe's fault because it's just wealth distribution. There's just a ton more wealth in America.
I think it's because Europe is more based.
We're rich.
We're rich over here.
We're rich in America.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? And not just got 4 million Muslims, but you've got Saudi and Qatar own half the capital city. The money is embedded in the nation. Qatar has spent £750 million. Qatar that houses Hamas. Qatar have spent £750 million radicalising Muslims across Europe. They've messed up the whole of France. Yeah?
To be fair, Tommy, Qatar and Saudi are two very different states.
They are, because Saudi under the new king are actually coming quite progressive and actually trying to deal with some of these
and the UAE, right?
And the UAE.
So this is the UAE.
This is another part of the discussion, which is really, I think, really important. And you keep saying that, and I think it's important to emphasize. I've come back from Uzbekistan a couple of months ago, and I grew up in Uzbekistan, Soviet Muslim country, right?
He actually made, if I recall correctly, I think it was him, he actually made an interesting video on how Uzbekistan just doesn't have a lot of the same radical tendencies, and they still dress according to their like pre-Islamic culture and stuff like that. And he's trying to understand why, but it's something like they're just still proud of their culture, and they don't let Islam just take it over and dominate it and so on. And so, but what?
I looked into that a while ago because there's a lot of among Turks and in Turkey and all that. There's a lot of attempts to make connections with those Central Asian cultures, those Turkic cultures, which is Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan and all the others. And what they all have in common is that they were all at some point ruled by the Soviet Union and were brutally, basically forcefully secularized and atheistified. But the other thing is also that, so aside from the whole Soviet impact and turning away from religion, turning away from Islam specifically, those cultures themselves always had and nowadays still have a rejection of communism, but also a rejection of being taken over by Islam. And it's just basically a kind of a desire to be traditional and to take care of their own traditions. But the thing is, they're all a little bit nutty. They're all a little bit crazy, those countries.
So are you.
They're all a little bit crazy. They do these weird things of like, everyone shall dress like this and nothing else. Women should have these hairstyles. And Turkmenistan is an extreme form of that. It has these things like, there is a list of allowed hairstyles. You can't have other hairstyles except those. Or a list of dresses that women are allowed to wear, and you can't wear anything else. So they banned things like Islamic wear, but they replace it with this hyper traditionalist, culturalist, traditionalist stuff. It's a very strange culture. I don't know.
Yep. The point here. This isn't the point that. Well, I mean, I guess he might be making that point. The point I was trying to make is that there seems to be a correlation between loving something about your own culture and not letting Islam take that from you. But if you have been trained to hate your own culture and despise it, it's like you're paving the way. You're paving the way. And so the point is, that's what we're seeing in Europe. You take places that are proud of their culture and love their culture and so on. Those are the places that aren't being subjugated by Islam. The ones that have been trained to hate and despise their own culture and to view themselves as evil and their nations as evil and their histories as evil, those are the places that are just getting crushed right now. Yeah. Might be something to pay attention to, people. And you might need to keep your eye out for people who are telling you to hate your own country and hate your own culture. I'll tell you this. I don't care what your culture's done. You're better than Islam. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
They don't have a problem with it.
What do you say?
Oh yeah, Reading God's Path by Robert Hoyland, for sure. Yeah.
They don't have grooming gangs. They don't have extremists. The extremists they have all leave because they make life intolerable for them, right? UAE, Saudi Arabia, a lot of Muslim countries are actually much better at dealing with Islamic extremism than we are, right?
Yeah, there's a reason for that as well. There's a reason for so UAE, Saudi, they ban all these extremist groups. Muslim Brotherhood not allowed to operate. We actually give home to these groups because it supported British foreign policy with the war in Afghanistan with the Soviet. We wanted a Mujahideen.
Yeah.
We funded the
I know.
Mujahideen.
The Americans did.
The
but yeah.
Americans and us,
Yeah.
we gave home to their leaders in Europe. We allowed them to grow, foster, and all of a sudden, Boris Johnson, put it on here. It says Boris Johnson, remember this is Boris Johnson before 7/7. Yeah? Remember what it says in the Holy Quran. Slay the unbelievers wherever you can find them. We will perform jihad against the kuffar, the unbelievers. That was in Boris Johnson's book, 72 Virgins. So he knows what Islam is.
Right.
But then when he comes in power, he totally pretends he doesn't.
Hey, that's interesting. So he's pointing out this guy knows his stuff. Boris Johnson, he knew his stuff. He knew what Islam teaches. And he gets into power and he just, no, Islam's great and wonderful. Wow. That's crazy.
He fully gets it.
Like-
Yeah? And why does he do that? So there's many that understand it. Boris Johnson's one of them. Yeah, but he's a coward. And he took a different line. So when we say what are we going to do, and most of these countries come down hard, but we didn't. We gave home. The Muslim Brotherhood have got offices in our capital cities. It's like they wouldn't be allowed to operate in the UAE or Saudi Arabia.
No.
Now Saudi Arabia understand that you can't give any homage to Hezbollah, Hamas, these terrorist groups, and that look at what's happened in Iran. But I think most people in our country need to understand how quickly a country can change. Look what happened to Iran. Under the Ayatollah. Look at the Islamic Revolution. They went from freedom-loving liberal
Women walking around miniskirts.
to and I remember there's videos of them laughing in halls when they say women will have to wear a hijab. Yeah, well, now you get killed if you don't. Yeah?
You hear that? You had the guys. It's actually important to note what happened with the Iranian Revolution. Iran had a king for basically 2,700 years straight. And then you had the mullahs saying, no, we should have Islamic law. And you had the leftists who wanted communism or socialism or something like that. What happened? They all agreed on something. The leftists, the communists, the socialists, they agreed with the Muslims on something. They agreed that we need to get rid of the king. And so they aligned them. They became allies and got rid of the Shah. Him and his family had to leave. And then the Muslims killed the leftists. And Tommy's just pointing out there, there are videos from that time when people are saying, hey, do you understand if these mullahs take over, they're going to make you wear the hijab? They're going to do, these idiots, they're so stupid. They think these guys are going to impose Islamic law on us. Basically exactly what people are saying now if you tell them what Islam wants to do. And there are other places as far as how things are. So that's Iran. He's pointing out that changed very quickly. Boom, revolution, done. Other places, it's longer, but takes longer to change, but it's still very, very rapid. So take Lebanon. In the 20th century, Lebanon was a Christian majority country. Lebanon is not a Christian majority country anymore. You can have a majority of the population now that is not a majority of the population a century from now. Things to consider, ladies and gentlemen.
And that happened quick.
So the question always is,
What do we do?
What do we do? Because as you say, there are lots of Muslims in this country who are great. Like like the stereotypical grooming gang perpetrator is like a taxi driver, right? I've said this before. The taxi driver that drives my wife and son around when they need to go somewhere is an Afghan man. I would trust no one more than him to take care of my wife and son because they're really good people, middle-class family, wonderful people, right? So there are millions of Muslims in this country actually who are not in any way a threat or a problem, right? Is that fair?
That's fair, but there's millions that are. Here's the problem.
I don't know. Well, you think there's millions of Muslims?
23% want Sharia law in this country. It's well over 1 million that are a problem. They need to leave.
Okay.
I would say, how much of this is culture? Like we know, for instance, with the grooming
I would say
gangs,
that,
they come.
What?
I would say, you could, for example, make a survey and ask people if they believe that Islam should rule in the end, and if they believe in Sharia, and everyone who responds with yes or I don't know should be deported immediately. So, yeah.
Where are they going, AP? Some of them are
I
born in
don't
Great Britain.
care. I don't care. Denaturalize and deport.
You got to send them somewhere. Where are you sending them?
Send them somewhere. I don't care. Send them to France.
Give them to France. France take them.
I mean, this is the whole incentivizing thing. I think you need to really just sort of incentivize. Well, I think what Tommy is sort of hitting on is you need a change of the education. First of all, you need to start teaching in the schools that, it's not a sin to be British. It's not a sin to be white. There are some good things that white people did.
No.
You should be proud of your heritage, proud of your culture. There's nothing wrong with that.
What is this white nationalism speech we're getting here?
Exactly. Yes. This lie we get.
So Nick Fuentes? I think you were Nick Fuentes, except you're not gay or Mexican. What?
As far as we know.
As far as
you know, I could be Mexican. Yeah, you need to start teaching that. You need to show there's actually some good reasons. That there's reasons you can be proud to be an American or be British. I mean, the British were the
wait.
pioneers.
You talk about white, but then once you said you can be proud to be, you switched to American and British. Why didn't you continue with white?
I'm just giving examples, AP. What's wrong with you? I almost said go back to Turkey. But that would have really got
See?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the problem. I mean, like, we're just told in our culture that it's a sin to be white and you should be ashamed of it. And it's like, listen, every human culture has done bad things and every human culture has done good things. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your heritage, being patriotic, it's okay to be who you are. And we need to just drop this lie that if you're British, American, Irish, you name it, you should apologize profusely for what your ancestors did. That would probably fix, like a lot of the issues within a generation right there. Like that would be an easy, quick solution that would take a generation to go through, but it would have some benefits.
I could fix all this stuff instantly. Well, not instantly, but in a very short period of time. If Christians, and hopefully other people, if Christians actually got to a point where they take this seriously and they learn basic arguments like the Islamic dilemma, and people in general learn basic information about Muhammad and how to respond to the Dawah arguments, I think life in the West would become unbearable for the more radically Sharia-minded people. If your religion is, if your prophet's constantly getting mocked and your dawah doesn't work anymore because people know the responses and people are just crushing it, and your kids are leaving Islam because they're hearing responses to the stupid, idiotic nonsense you tell them when they're kids, I think we need to be somewhere else. We need to be somewhere where they're not going to criticize it. The people who want Sharia are basically being encouraged by Western nations constantly placating them and trying to make Islamophobia laws and stuff like that. And they're like, we're winning. They're actually changing their entire system to bring it in line with us. So it's working and we're winning. If you made it very clear, under no circumstances are we changing anything. And the more you demand it, the more we're going to expose your fake prophet and the more we're going to mock your stupid book. And we're all just going to keep learning more and more and more and more and more until we convert your entire freaking family to Christianity. Or at least get them to leave Islam by exposing Islam as the lie that it is and exposing Muhammad as the most obvious false prophet ever. They are not going to like living in the West at that point. So it's just funny. You could do it without violence. You could do it without, as AP wants, sending everyone to Antarctica. You could do it without that. Wow. Now, with that said, I doubt people are going to do that, but guys, it's just everyone. What do we do? What do we do? Oh my goodness, what do we do? It's actually really easy. Know what you believe, know why you believe it, know why Islam is false, and be able to expose it. Boom, you win. It's done. And you won't do it. You won't do it. You'd rather sit around whining all day and, we don't know what to do. I just told you exactly what to do. Try it and watch what happens.
Yeah, we need a cultural change. Like Hollywood, the media, academia mocks Christianity and celebrates Islam. Could you imagine if Hollywood actually was putting out stuff mocking Islam. Like
Yep.
that would be a
They
huge
ain't got
pull.
the balls.
Movies blasting Islam. You turn on the television and it's 60 minutes and they're exposing dawah lies and showing how, these lies about the perfect preservation have all been exposed and stuff like that. If you were just being bombarded, not in the Al-Zut sense, but bombarded with information that exposes your Muhammad as a fake prophet, exposes dawah guys as liars, guess who's gonna stay here? People who love the country more than they care about the fake prophet. So kind of watered down Muslims. Well, guess what? Those are the ones who can integrate and that you can get along with. The ones who are like, no, we can't allow any criticism of Muhammad, this and that. Okay, you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to leave if people don't back down. So
Yeah.
pretty straightforward. We'll probably watch a couple more minutes of this and cut out. But let's see. Let's take some super chats. Watched your part 2 video on Sister Aisha. Good video. Yes, it was. Posted that earlier today for people who missed it. I might be single at the moment, but I couldn't imagine treating my future wife that way. These dawah clones are seriously defective in the head. Yeah, to think that you can just dupe a girl into marrying you, make all kinds of promises. Then once you're married and you've had your way with her, admit that you were just making all that up and you have no intention of following through with anything. And then letting her divorce you and then lying about it and so on. And then basically saying that you shouldn't care if you drive her to end her own life and so on. Sick, evil people. Libro says, D. Wood, major props and respect to you for not letting shameless Islamic demons on X attacking you and your family, yet even more proof of their loving, peaceful religion. Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome, loving, peaceful religion. D. Wood, I love your video about your son. His dance is joyous. The video is rich with theology. I wish I could say more about it. AP, good luck with the ortho drama on X.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, we should start up a series called Ortho Wars. All over AP.
That sounds like something else that I wanted to say, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, you can't. No, Ortho Wars.
What?
Wrong. That's what you're going to say.
What's wrong with you?
Based
What's
on what
wrong
you were
with you,
saying
man?
yesterday, you kept saying everything.
wrong
Oh,
with
you
you, man?
disagree with me. Whore, prostitute. What'd you call that lady? A mustache whore? That was messed up, man. I can't, you're acting like you changed your ways, but you still laugh about it when I bring it up. You're supposed to be just in total shame right now. Instead, you just giggle yourself silly whenever anyone.
I'm a changed man now.
There we go. He's a changed man, everyone. This is the new AP, not like the old AP. David, what do you call a cow in an earthquake? A milkshake.
He paid $10 for that. $10.
My milkshake. Bring boys to the yard. My drink is better than yours. D. Wood, do the 2 Eastern Orthodox blokes live with you now believe in the primacy of Peter? By the men of Al-Zut, tell the jihadis of UK to fuck off. Oh,
Which
that's
2
rude.
Eastern Orthodox blokes? What are you talking about?
I can neither confirm nor deny if I'm an Orthodox bloke until I get further authorization from superiors to release any sort of church affiliation.
Good point. Good point. Valid point. So, do you guys now believe in the primacy of Peter?
I can neither confirm nor deny if I believe in the primacy of Peter until I get further authorization from superiors to release church affiliation.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I believe in something.
Oh, hey, look at this. And the very next one is, IP is Catholic, you see, refusing to acknowledge the corrupt Catholics of old, wanting illiterate common folk. Yep. Trying to
I
cover
can
up.
neither confirm nor deny if I'm a Catholic until I get further authorization from superiors about church affiliation.
Nice.
That pathetic hellhound sewage that made those comments about your son, it's a bottom feeder that has no wins. What an agent of Satan. I pray God will execute major judgment upon his head. I just want him to see what a dirtbag he's been over time. Because I've been a dirtbag too. So whatever this guy's done, I'm sure I've done worse. Hi, all. To AP, so happy to see you passionate for Christ. You've been very busy, so here's a brotherly hug of encouragement. Keep up the work, guys. Keep up the work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. God bless you.
These a clear example of what Jesus said, by their fruits you shall know them. The Lord forgives you, but if you harden your heart, you'll end up like Pharaoh. I'm sorry, that just really pissed me off. You're right, though. Nick Martin, forgive me, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
Correct,
What did I
Nick
miss?
Martin.
What did I miss? Nazi leaders were charged because they violated natural law, even though they followed German law. The teachings of Islam encourage violating natural law. That's true. But we're just following orders. A simple diagnostic. If they want to replace our form of government with Sharia, they shouldn't be allowed in. I agree. Even a basic step, which they won't do. They won't do even this. Even a basic step of just, hey, if someone's applying for asylum or as an immigrant and so on, just a little questionnaire on what you believe about Islam and Sharia and things like that, and what you think should happen to apostates, and do you think it's okay to kill a relative who leaves Islam or westernizes and so on. Ask questions like that, but go ahead and hook them up to a lie detector. Hook them up to a lie detector, ask them some simple questions, and if you fail, sorry, stay in your Sharia-compliant hellhole.
I would say, like, if I was in control, for example, and I'm just saying this because I'm just imagining the ideal world of
If
the
I
future
were
of the Western world.
president, if I were president.
What I would do would be to first off deport as many people as possible who do not accept the values of the countries that you have. For example, if I took control of the United Kingdom now, I would, for every single Muslim, for example, who has expressed any desire to establish Sharia or to have Islam as the law of the land or to have blasphemy laws and all that, deportation immediately. Have some some incentives for something else, but send them somewhere else. If they are descendants of immigrants and have citizenship, strip their citizenship and send them away. Anyone who makes any statements that are in favor of Islam as law, of Sharia and so on, deport immediately. No question. No money. Nothing. Send them away. Kick them out. Secondly, shut down immediately much of the immigration. Immediately shut down any refugee programs. No longer accept a single refugee. You're not the saviors of the world, and restrict immigration severely to such an extent that people can only further immigrate if they have good reason to immigrate, and people can't just simply and easily come here and start getting free money from your stuff. Also, shut down as many Islamic institutions and mosques as possible, especially those that have been associated with radical stuff, and put restrictions upon the public practice and preachings of Islam.
You heard it here, folks. Vote for AP for King of England. All right. I don't know how you guys do your tea-loving elections over there, but vote AP the next election for King.
To be continued.
One, that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. It shows nothing you said is about a problem with Islam. We know there are problems with Islam, but everything you just said is a problem with Turks. You get a Turk, and I want to come to another country. And as soon as he goes to another country, then he's talking about taking over the government in yet another country. It's like, dude, who do you think you are? Gosh, man. I will have my own caliphate and everyone must obey me, and I will decide what to do in some other country that I'm not even a citizen of. What is this?
Well, look, I do appreciate certain aspects of democracy, but I would say that one good solution would be to assign me as director or dictator of the United Kingdom, and I'll take care of things.
Based.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to
Sounds
Fantasyland, everyone. Population 1.
Population 2, David. I'm right here. Don't forget me.
Okay.
Huh. In your
David, ChatGPT provides responses from Islamic scholars to the Islamic dilemma. Would you cut a video responding to ChatGPT's alleged scholarly answers? I believe such a video would be a helpful tool. I don't have ChatGPT, but that would be funny. That would be funny to yeah. Keep in mind, guys, what ChatGPT does. ChatGPT if you ask ChatGPT for responses to the Islamic dilemma, it's going to be taking information from terrible Dawa sites and so on. And so, yeah, we can go through those. It's not going to get any better. That's the thing, guys. For people who are thinking, oh, wow, a lot of the responses to the Islamic dilemma really suck, but maybe something better's coming. Nothing better is ever going to help. Not
I'm
happening.
asking ChatGPT, how do we solve the Islamic dilemma right now?
I don't have ChatGPT. It sounds like when people used to say, I don't do email. It's like,
So the three solutions they offered is distinguish between the original and the corrupt scriptures, which we've responded to, partial preservation view, which we've responded to, contextual reading of the ask the people of the book verse. They interpret verses like 1094 as directed specifically to Muhammad's immediate situation, possibly referring to earlier prophet stories, not adopting the theology of the Bible wholesale, which that doesn't work either. So this is pretty dumb. Yeah. This is, they should use ChatGPT. Totally. It will make our jobs even easier.
Yeah. So, I'll have to get ChatGPT at some point. But yeah, no problem going through ChatGPT's responses because it's just going to be the same as the Dawa responses, and none of that is going to rescue Islam.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. Pretty bad here. So this is what they're trying to use to get around the Islamic dilemma. They are more cooked than they realized.
They're in quite a bit of trouble. Silly Tommy, there are no Muslims in England. What? If AP starts an Ortho war, does Orthodox get to come along?
no. Orthodox can stay in his own lane. He's not Orthodox.
It's because AP is afraid of his powerful lips, you see? He's terrified of those lips.
I don't want to be sucked in by those lips, man. This is scary.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Just so everyone knows, Marlon of The Gospel Truth is trying to put on a conference. And you know how the Orthodox Muslim said he can't come to DebateCon? So I told Marlon that, and Marlon's going to contact him to try to get him to come debate me or maybe you guys at that conference. Because I'm like, yeah, if he can't do that one, there's another one right around the corner. So let's do that one.
Oh,
when's
that?
February.
He also agreed, however, to have a remote debate with me about is Islam true, and also to have a follow-up debate with, I think, 2-on-2, David and I against him, about, I think, either the Islamic dilemma or on whether Jesus claimed to be God or not. And I said I'm fine with either one of those. So,
I still have to agree. And yet, depending on the topic, if he's picking a topic that just he's interested in, then I'm also going to have a topic I'm interested in. So then we'd have a topic you're interested in, the topic he's interested in, the topic I'm interested in. We'd have all those debates. It'd be very based.
Super based.
IP, as Elder Dawa, I grant you permission. There you got it.
IP.
Thank you. Permission.
Once I become the very best master debater, I'll give the true Mahdi power to AP. What is this?
Alhamdulillah.
Dawa's weird, man. A vote for AP is a vote for the West and Christianity.
It is.
That came out wrong, sorry. Hey, look what we have here. Orthodox lips Muslim himself. You thin lips, a lip do lip. Oh, you're scared. That picture's awesome, man.
This is never going to get old. I mean, man, that was... He showed up in our live and he was like, I'll show them, and it has backfired so much.
Didn't go the way you thought it would, did you, Orthodox lips? Didn't go the way you wanted. Well. Wait, hang on. Just had to put this up from Jack Ray. Is Orthodox lips ducking the debate requests?
Yes. Didn't he
say
to you, AP, on his post, or stop ducking?
Yeah, he said he did. Actually, after we made fun of his duck lips, he actually went over on his community post and said that we are ducking his debate challenge.
And then he said, quack, 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 quack.
Oh, I hope he calls us quacks next. That'd be great. I hope that happens. You quack, stop ducking from me.
Oh boy, what awesome times! What awesome times we're in. All right, let's watch another couple minutes of this, and then
Majority of them come from a very specific region in Pakistan,
Kashmir.
and Kashmir. So, how much of that is a cultural issue, and how much of that is Islam? Because we also need to separate that.
Well, there's lots of Sikhs in this country who come from Kashmir. They're not raping kids.
But there's also Omanis and Saudis in this country who are not raping kids.
No,
either.
they're not. But they're, if you look at the gangs, and I've done the demographics of the gangs, Somali, Afghani, Iraqi, yes, the vast majority are Pakistani, the vast majority, because the vast majority of Muslims in the UK are Pakistani. That's it. Now, if we look at, it's Moroccans who are doing it in Holland. There was a film called Loverboy created in 2007, and our pathetic country didn't allow it to be played in our schools. They clamped down because it was racist, yeah? Now, that film was an educational film to be played to children to educate them on the Loverboy techniques. Grooming, right? 2007. How many kids could have been saved? But because of racism, and if we just rewind a little bit just to make...
he made an important point that if you go to different parts of the world, it's actually different groups. And if you look at Pakistanis are, I'd have to look at the numbers, but I think they're the biggest Muslim group. And so they're the ones doing most of the grooming gang. Why? They're kind of dominant in a bunch of these areas. But you can go to different countries and you find Muslims from different parts of the world are the ones that are primarily responsible for the grooming and so on. So seems to be something that connects these different groups, even from completely different backgrounds. I wonder what it could be.
What could it be?
This is what I was talking about earlier. Like they were afraid to show this very important film because they were worried about being racist. This again, constantly hating on your culture, hating on your heritage doesn't help anyone. It destroys a culture. No one is saying cover up the sins of your own culture. Don't talk about them. No, talk about them, learn from them, but also teach things that show that, hey, there are some good things in our heritage and culture. We're not just evil. We need to constantly apologize.
Yeah, one of the most important features when you're pointing out, look at this problem of the past, and look at that problem of this past, and look at one of the great things about Western nations is we improve. We recognize when something is wrong, and then we take steps and we change it. And then what happens? We change it, and then you come along and then say, oh, but look at this thing you did in the past. And it's like, yeah, and we improved. How are things going where you're from? Oh, same problems that have been going on for 1,400 years? Yeah, don't tell us about your religion, because it doesn't make improvements. It ruins things.
One clarification. When I set up the English Defence League, as a street protest movement on the street, what would you want? Because we had a lesbian and gay division, we had a Jewish division, we had a Hindu division. We made it very clear that, of who we were and what our mission statement was. Do you know the Scotland Yard have a Metropolitan Domestic Extremism Unit? And the head of that unit come out and made a statement saying the English Defence League are not far right. So although everyone now believes the English Defence League was a far right movement, that's because the media told you 10,000 times it was far right. So it becomes far right, same as me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Yeah? There were problems with it. It attracted the brave and the strange and the dangerous at times. But fast forward to where we are, what do we do if you accept this problem and that's this where the government just buried their head? And what do we do? Well, you need to start addressing it. You really need to address it. And what we're seeing now, the swing across the whole of Europe, I've been saying it for years. When the cat's out of the bag, which it is now, the bubbles burst, the dam's broke. Yeah, the country's awake. Everyone can see it. It's not. This ain't going away. Yeah. So to keep on what Keir Starmer tried to do after the riots after Southport, which again people talk about. You know, like you said, there was a worry about me because there's an element of violence at times. That's just me defending myself. If you listen to my message, do you know after Lee Rigby's attack, after Lee Rigby beheaded someone, I stood to 10,000 English Defence League supporters in Newcastle. My speech said, there's 600 Muslims serving in the British Armed Forces. They're doing a hell of a lot more for this country than we are. Yeah. If you abuse a Muslim woman walking down the street, you're a coward. Smash up a mosque, you're a fucking moron. Yeah.
You catching this? He was saying, don't go around with like random vigilante justice against random Muslims and so on. But if you are to ask someone what Tommy's saying, he's saying just kill all Muslims, because that's what people heard their entire lives.
So my message has always been this. Yeah. Now that doesn't excuse that there's been problems, because there's a level of aggression and anger in this country which has been simmered and underneath and boiling for decades. And at times it's come up. So how do you do that? You need to harness it and channel it. When the riots went on in Southport, I made it very clear. I made videos, and the reason why I made videos is because I was worried for those young men. Yeah, because I understand their anger. Because 20 years ago, I put on a balaclava. Yeah, I run through the streets of Luton. So I get what you're doing. But there's a better way than that. Yeah, and
Which is what?
Which
You guys catching this? So this is interesting stuff. He's saying basically there's a lot of anger and resentment building up. It's building up pressure. It's building up pressure. And if you're not careful, it's going to erupt in various ways. And could be like just in like random violence and so on. He's saying you need to be aware of this, and you need to harness it and channel it in a direction that is not going to lead to terrible results and so on. He's saying, hey, when you see people marching through the streets and calling for violence or something like that, he's like, I get it. I get why you're doing it, but you're going about it the wrong way. So you need to steer people into positive, constructive ways of dealing with the anger and rage that's building beneath the surface. Or it's just going to be a bloodbath.
So I don't know who told me this this factoid when I was in the UK, but somebody said it to me, and then I went and actually looked it up, and it's kind of messed up. But here's a funny fact, also known as a fun fact. The number of British Muslims who joined ISIS is higher than the number of British Muslims who serve in the British Army. You know.
That'd be a nice little video, AP.
He just mentioned the British Muslims who serve in the army, but somebody else told me this whole thing that more British Muslims actually joined ISIS than serving in the British army, and I looked it up, and it's true. It's pretty messed up. It says a lot about it.
AP, I think you just solved the issue, how to get Muslims to deport themselves. Say a new Islamic caliphate has just formed in Antarctica, and they are calling for troops. They need more soldiers down there for jihad. And then all these Muslims that joined ISIS, similar thing will happen. They'll just deport themselves to Antarctica to join the caliphate. Boom. Boom.
Yeah, that's a good
there
idea.
you go.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, we should start a rumor that the caliphate is being reformed in Antarctica, and that there are all these penguins just waiting to be molested. Well, hey, look at this. More wisdom from Allah. More wisdom from the Ummah. More hikmah. How about Jewish? I dare you to speak about him.
Okay.
It's completely random.
When the Jews start going around saying it's okay to rape a 9-year-old, yes, and we will enslave and subjugate you.
We're going to subjugate you. We're going to kill all the apostates. We're going to take your women as war booty. We're going to do all this. Yeah. And especially if you get to where 2 billion of them all share this ideology, yeah, suddenly I'll be concerned. As for now, nice try, but you're not stopping us from talking about your fake child molesting, murdering, rapist prophet.
You want us to talk about the Jews? Okay, the Talmud is nonsense. It's not from God. Should be rejected. All Talmudic Jews should convert to Christianity. There, I said all I need to say. If they start doing the crap that Muslims are doing, then I'll say more.
Yep. Yeah. So tell us when we're supposed to be concerned, because as it is now, you just sound like Daniel Hakikachu. We're trying to subjugate the world, but focus on the Jews. Don't look over here. Look at the Jews.
Yeah, I will also say my part. So you asked us to say something about the Jews. So I would say, so Rabbinic Judaism has a lot of wrong things, and I would say that fundamentally it is wrong and built on wrong foundations. And I must say that Jews are, but I love Jews, and Jews are significantly better than Muslims, and Judaism is significantly better than Islam. So I hope you're happy now.
Hey, look at this dumb comment. Matt says David Wood wouldn't go to Speaker's Corner now. It's dangerous. I literally went there last year and ran that place. And AP just went there a couple days ago. So what are you talking about? And Christians dominate that place now.
Yep.
Christians took that place over.
All because of David.
least.
So I remember making a video saying, where are the men? Get those kids' masks off their faces, because they're all kids. When I was watching the trouble going on, they're just young kids. They're going to ruin their whole lives. They're going to get put in jail. And they're angry. I believe they are justifiably angry. Yeah, that's what I believe. That level of anger, if we look at where the protests were, Hull, is it Hull or Hartlepool? Hartlepool or Hull, one of them. A Muslim man in the hotel left the hotel and stabbed a pensioner to death for Gaza. Yeah, I don't even know if people know about this, yeah? In a terrorist attack. He was in the hotel. There were trouble outside that hotel during the riots. Of course there was. There was trouble outside the hotel in Tamworth during the riots because Mohammed left the hotel and raped an English woman who was walking home. Of course there was. There's been 8 Muslim migrants in hotels who have women. There's been 25 sexually assaults against kids from migrants in hotels. This week, there's been a 12-year-old 2 men, Afghanis. There's been the attack in Warwickshire. There's been the sexual assault in Epping. And I challenge anyone to do this.
Some of those cases, we have to say for your benefit,
Allegedly.
Tommy, allegedly. I wouldn't like you to go to prison for something you said on here. Just for people who don't understand British libel law, you have to say that until someone's
until
been
they've
found
been proven guilty. Yeah.
Right.
But even there's been Afghan.
Hey,
You hear that? You got to say allegedly. What?
This is very funny. This is probably why. So when I was at the conference, we were on stage, and somebody said something about Andrew Tate. I don't remember who it was. And somebody said that people also say things about Andrew Tate and allegations and this and that. And I was on stage, and I took the mic and said, well, first, if I want to say that Andrew Tate is definitely a rapist and a sex trafficker. And then I continued with the conversation with my talk, and then. As soon as I dropped the mic, Meyer was like, okay, yeah, we want to say allegedly. And then I take the mic and said, no, he's definitely a rapist and a sex trafficker. Not allegedly.
America, you hear that? You hear that? We're hearing how in the UK you have to say all this stuff. That's why you need an American, a good, born and raised American like the apostate prophet.
Powerful.
All right, guys, I think we can wrap it up here. So this is a very long interview. The link is in the description box for people who want to watch the entire interview. Good stuff. Good stuff. Take these last couple super chats here. Have Radar Apologetics on next time. Judaism is a topic. He's a Messianic Jewish rabbi from New York. DJ too, and makes sick beats. Same crew as God Logic. Hey, is he going to be wait, if it's the same crew as God Logic, then we're about to see him. We're going to see him.
Oh yeah, he's interviewed me before. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Okay, then we're about to be hanging out with him.
Yeah.
Elon Musk tweeted to D Wood on Richard Dawkins. Did he?
Tweeted to you?
I tweeted to you.
Just like that, exactly.
When was this, Paul? Let's see. I will be king of England and fix everything. Yeah, that's what AP just said. Hey, it's AP, authoritative power. Hey, that's actually a picture of you as Aladdin. That I will be king of England and fix everything.
I just recently rewatched that movie. It's so ridiculous, man.
I've still never seen that one.
You haven't? You should. It's very stupid humor.
Oh, really? Shocker. Speaker's Corner misses you, D Wood. Yeah, I like Speaker's Corner. Was planning on going there early. I would have been there multiple times this year if they hadn't banned me from the stupid country. AP is a loud American. He's not a proud American. He's a loud American. Ha ha, you see? This is very powerful.
You see?
All right, guys. Final thoughts on any of this stuff? We got
Deport
Tommy.
people.
There's a lot of people who are kind of new to all this stuff. Everyone's new to everything.
Wait, what the heck? You didn't see this, man?
What?
I just checked Elon Musk's replies and searched for whether he interacted with you or not. This was on August 10. He replied to your posts on August 8, where you said, I've seen lots of atheists waking up to what Richard Dawkins said in 2010. I have mixed feelings about the decline of Christianity insofar as Christianity might be a bulwark against something worse. Elon Musk put the 100 emoji under your post. Huh. You didn't see that?
No, but now I'll go look for it. Yeah, send me the link to that. I will screenshot that.
I shall.
That's funny. Elon responded to me 3 days ago, and I didn't even pay attention.
Put the link to it in the
It
chat,
helped.
I guess.
It helped though. This my post got 1.3 million views and 30,000 likes. So I guess that was part of the source there. I guess that was part of the source.
Probably.
So yeah, that was for everyone who wants to check it out. It was Liam Tufts is an atheist, and he said, "As an atheist, I'm still able to identify the need for Britain to kickstart Christianity. Many people require and deserve structure, faith, and guidance. A godless society will never work." So this is an atheist saying a godless society will never work. And then I quote tweeted him and said, "I've seen lots of atheists waking up to what Richard Dawkins said in 2010. I have mixed feelings about the decline of Christianity, insofar as Christianity might be a bulwark against something worse." And apparently Elon liked that, and now me and Elon are best friends, and he's going to be fully funding all our work in the future.
Based.
See, with me, Elon Musk only liked one of my tweets, and it was a joke tweet in the past, which was something about I posted an image of Elon Musk drinking water and Hitler drinking water side by side.
This was the proof.
And he liked it, but with you, he actually commented on yours. See,
Yep, he saw mine, and he's like, "This dude is way more base than another dude who just just put up a picture with people drinking water like a total dope."
Yeah, exactly. That said, I still think that Elon Musk is a very problematic person, but
what the heck is wrong with you, man? That dude's crushing it.
Yeah.
Don't insult our new friend. He's trying to fund. We need him to fund us, AP. What are you doing?
Yeah, can you imagine if someone like Elon's like, "You know what? I'm going to build this huge studio just for wrecking Islam. That's it. Ball game. Ball game.
Elon, I know you're listening.
Ball game.
I know you're listening, Elon. I know you're listening. I was joking. I take it back. You're not a morally problematic person at all.
You're the greatest person in the whole universe.
You're the greatest person ever. Please give us money."
I just saw a little short clip from it's one of those Shark Tank guys. He's a businessman. So he's a businessman, and he was talking about the they call it the what do they call it, the signal to noise ratio, which has a normal meaning in terms of what you're actually hearing and sort of like background amount of noise and stuff like that, but it gets applied to like focusing on what you're supposed to be doing versus everything else, which is just noise. Like what do you need to get done right now? That's the signal, and then everything else that's distracting you is like the noise. And the guy was talking about who is the Apple guy? Steve Jobs. He was talking about Steve Jobs and he said Steve Jobs was like the guy with the best ratio. He said like 80% of everything that dude is doing is like towards his main goals that he's trying to accomplish at a given time. Like 80% of his attention is always focused on these big things. And 20%, he said 20% is for everything else. And he said, and I've only seen one person with a better ratio, and I instantly thought, it's got to be Elon, right? It's got to be Elon. And he says, the only person with a better ratio is Elon. And he said, Elon is 100 to 0. He said, everything that guy does is to accomplish whatever he's trying to accomplish, whatever he thinks is most important to accomplish at some time. And there's nothing distracts the guy. Nothing distracts the guy from accomplishing whatever he wants. So anyway, interesting stuff. Powerful. Hey, what? We got extra super chats here.
Because you were blabbering.
So he tweeted to you on your replies. That's interesting.
I found it already. Yeah,
okay.
I found it here.
So I could just look through my replies, right? And it's there.
I just put it here in the guest chat, man, on eCam.
Oh
right
yeah, because I'm clicking on guest chat because I'm a nerd. Have you three considered making a video on the topic of shame versus guilt cultures? Islam and communism are definitely a shame cultures, but not many talked about our guilt culture. Thanks, gentlemen.
I did a video a while back, I think like 2 years ago, called Honor and Shame, where I talked about the biblical aspects of honor and shame, how that was an honor shame culture, and how it differentiates from our culture, which is a guilt culture. So you can check that video out, but it was a couple of years ago. It was part of my series on cultural context of the biblical world, super nerdy series, but that was part of that series.
I wanted, this was years ago, but I wanted to make a video at some point about if, as you get rid of Christianity from society, you're going to have to transform it into an honor shame society, because you're going to have a means of controlling people. And if you're not jumping automatically to controlling them by physical force, like a dictator or something like that, you're going to have to do it through honor and shame. Just shame on you for thinking that way. Shame on you. Ooh, you're bad and stuff like that. And because you have no real moral framework for saying this is why what you're doing is wrong, it would be, we just have to shame you into doing what we want at all times. You see, D-Wood and Elon Musk are going after Mojab. Yes. Elon messaged me. He's like, David, Muhammad Hijab's da'wah is so powerful. I need to stop him. I'm willing to give you billions of dollars if you crush him. And I was like, oh, don't worry, buddy. We will make that dude melt down completely in 2025. And so you see, Elon, money well spent. Money
I'm surprised
well spent.
we didn't see a hijab video. I have clear proof that Elon Musk is collaborating with the Islamophobes. That would have been a great
Look, it's
video.
right here. He said 100 in response to one of David's tweets. This is the proof that they're conspiring against me because of my powerful da'wah. And because they're jealous of my hotel wife. Yes, I have all the hotel wives. Elon Musk could never afford so many hotel wives as me. Oh, I see. I have a 4-hour drive to seminary on Saturday, the one you spoke at, David. Oh, cool. Hey, Hunter, how you doing, man? Which stream of yours should I listen to on the way down? Well, it's not 4 hours, but if you didn't catch the interview with Sister Aisha earlier today, or if you missed the other one, those are interesting stuff, I would say.
Sister Aisha.
And finally, voice to noise ratio. Momo got whatever he wanted, 100%. Yep, that's about right. All right, guys, anyone, anything you want to tell anyone about? Share? Anything? Anything before we go?
I'm gonna be in New York with you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how's that working? Is God Logic going to be like live streaming over there? Or are we just recording? We'll post the stuff later, or I have no idea. I have no idea what we're doing other than we're going to Times Square and a couple other places.
I think he's recording. I don't know if we're going to go live. He has done that in the past. He's not told me yet. Maybe I should bother the hell out of him about that, because I just know we're doing an event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And then I guess we're free during the day to do stuff. But yeah.
No, we're going to go hit up some other places, man. Hit up some parks and stuff like that.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm all in. So yeah. I would just tagging along at this point. I'm not planning anything. So whatever he wants to do, I'm just gonna follow along.
Yeah, we're following God Logic's lead on this one.
Yeah.
And let's see, last one here. IP end stream with prayer discovers which church. yes, I'll say IP end with prayer, and he's like, in the name of.
If only you guys knew. Listen, here's my promise. If you guys come to Tucson, I'll take you to church with me, and you'll know. You just can't ever tell anyone, or else we will destroy you. So you'll know.
Otherwise,
Being on the
you'll be dead.
I already know, but someone would have to saw my head off before I would snitch. I'm like the Garkid tree. That's why they call me.
Well, I have
D-Wood.
I have said it in the past. I know IP's denomination, and I am willing to tell people if they pay me enough.
Yes, it's $2 million, but I need half of that.
Got to be some serious Dawa bucks. Serious Dawa bucks.
Dawa bucks.
All right, guys. I recorded a video about Muhammad Hijab losing the lawsuit and some of the reasons and implications for it. Got some good stuff. That video should be up in the morning unless something went horribly wrong with the recording.
Thanks.
But check that out. And yep, we will be in New York City for a couple days.
Sorry, AP wasn't singing. I just thought I should put this on.
Hope to see some of y'all there. But if you can't, check us out online. We'll have the footage. Catch y'all next time.